Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How are all of you doing? Good to see everybody. It is Sunday night here, Sunday afternoon on the West Coast, just approaching the evening. I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is our entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we started over 240 episodes ago. And this show is all about inspiration, positivity, light, love, levity, or as we call it here on the show, lovity. Because in the summertime, I said love and levity just a little too fast. And I ended up saying a show phrase that ended up being something that we say all the time on our show, which is lovity. And that's kind of cool because the world could certainly use a lot more lovity about now, right? All the viewers watching around the world, they sort of adopted that word when I said it, and they call themselves the lovities. So if you're watching the Jim Masters Show live right now for the first time, wherever you're watching around the world, you're now considered one of our lovities, which is kind of a cool thing, isn't it? And they call me Mr. Levity as a result of me saying love and levity a little too fast and creating lovity. They call this Lovity Hall, our home studio here. And we started the show as sort of a branch of the kind of work I do in real life, you know, in the professional world as a television and radio personality and presenter and host and multimedia journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover narrator and artist. I've been doing this work for years in television, radio, multimedia, and stage. And so many years people said, you know, you should create something like an entertainment lifestyle talk show series. And I always loved all the talk shows of the past, you know, the Johnny Carson and Dick Cavett and all the classic television talk shows. And then with the modern vibe of today, we sort of take the old school talk shows of yesterday where they bring back the lost art of conversation, and we marry that, sort of merge that with the modern cool vibe and sensibilities of today. And we lost a major talk show host yesterday, of course, the one and only Larry King from CNN and Aura TV, and just a legend in the business and television and radio. We did a little, we paid homage to Larry King at the episode from last night when wonderful singer and actor Sam Harris was with us, and we had a ball. If you missed that episode, you can see it. Again, all the episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live are available on our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, we invite you to subscribe to the channel. We would love that. That, of course, helps the channel. We've had a lot of people subscribing because they've been binge watching all of the incredible episodes of our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. And I think it's really fantastic because we have guests that come in from television and film and music, Broadway, Hollywood, science, nature, health, wellness, culinary arts, inspiration, and you name it, from all around the world, international audience, international guests. And my very special guest, Nikita Burshteyn, is here, and he's a brilliant singer and actor and dancer. He is live in San Francisco, California, the city by the bay, where a lot of people leave their heart, like Tony Bennett did. And he'll be joining us in just a second. It's good to see everybody. And we want to welcome, of course, our Lovity audience. We've got such a great Lovity audience here. We always greet the audience and say hello to the Lovity viewers. Hi, Jim and Lovities. Welcome, actor, singer, dancer Nikita to the show tonight. Christine Clifton watching in North Carolina. And of course, we welcome you. Everybody that's watching on YouTube. Somebody might be also on our Facebook page at Jim Masters TV. We welcome everybody wherever you're watching right now. Dante CD, who happens to also be in California. He's in San Diego. Another beautiful spot on our planet. I love San Diego. I got to get back there soon. Hello, all Lovedies. Welcome to Lovedy Hall, another exciting event hosted by the incredible Jim Masters, aka Mr. Lovedy. And you're the one, Dante, who you said that this is Lovedy Hall. I love that. And that's really what this is. Good to see you in San Diego. Willie is watching in the Netherlands. Hello, here I am, a Lovedy from Holland. How are you all? Have a nice weekend, and now we enjoy Nikita. Yes, you do, and it's good to see you in Holland. Hope you're doing well. Willie, thanks for joining us from Europe. Maureen is here. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here for some much-needed COVID relief. Welcome, Nikita, to Lovedy Hall. Good to see you, Maureen. And hello, Jim and our Lovedy family from Mary Bishop, watching in Florida. Lots of great folks tuning in tonight, and we welcome everybody to the show. We're here every single night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We've got amazing guests coming up as well. Lisa is here. Awesomeness. We love that. Welcome. Denise is here as well. Hello, everyone. You're watching on the YouTube channel. Good to see you. Gary Troyer is watching from Iowa, USA. Hi, Jim and all the Lovedies. Good to see you as well. Kathy Short watching from Cleveland, Ohio. Good evening, Jim and Lovedies, from cold and snowy Cleveland, Ohio. We're lucky here on the East Coast and the Northeast. No snow right now. We've been very lucky the last few years. And global warming, who knows? Maureen says it's been cold and rainy where you are in the desert. It's currently 55 and no sun. Oh, that could be cold. Nikita is my friend. He is bad at Warzone, but he's still a good guy. We will ask him about that. We will verify that fact. He might have a different answer. We will check that out. And Willie says, are we very busy today? We are busy every single day, 7 days of the week between my professional work and this show as well. And Maureen goes, here we go. You got it, Maureen. And of course, Merlin is watching in Ontario, Canada. Jim and all the Lovedies, good to see you. Sharon watching in Connecticut. Happy Sunday evening, everyone. Good to see you as well. Sharon DeMaria, welcome. Karen Campbell Green watching in Nova Scotia. Hello, Jim and my wonderful Lovedy family. We love that. Good to see you, Karen and Wozniak. Good evening, Jim and everyone. Hope this has been a wonderful day for everyone. Absolutely. It is. And right now we're welcoming also, good to see you, Anne, from South Africa, our wonderful Lovedy viewer. Hello, Jim and all the Lovedies. Hope you all had a great weekend. Juanita is here. Good to see you, Juanita. Dawn says, great. We love that. Welcome, Dawn. Another wonderful friend of our show and dear friend is the wonderful R&B singing sensation, Cassandra Bain. Lady Bain. She's been a guest twice on our show. And she says, hello, beautiful people. Matter of fact, Nikita has also, this is his second time on our show as well. You might remember he was with us in December when we had the crew from 2x2 on. So I said, hey, you want to come back? We'll do a whole show with you as my guest. Hi, Jim, and welcome to Nikita from Denise. Gary says, nice turtleneck. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is turtleneck time. I'm a sweater guy. I love turtlenecks and sweaters and cardigans, all of it. Kathleen Walker, New York City. Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone. Hope you are well. Good to see you as well. Yeah, R.I.P. Larry King. He was one of the best in the business. Mona is here from Louisiana. Hello, Jim and all the Lovedies. Good to see you as well. Mona, after a very stressful day, it's great to be here tonight with you, Jim, and all my Lovedy family. You guys always ease my stress levels. That is fantastic. And Bernadette says, hi, Jim, and hi, everyone. Good to see you, Bernadette. Hey, my first time here with all you Lovedies. I'm from the UK. Lots of love, Samantha Carter. Welcome, Samantha. Welcome from beautiful United Kingdom. My father's side of the family hails from that area, from England and also Ireland. My mother's English, Swedish, and French. Good to see you as well, Airborne 8282. Looking forward to the terrific Nikita, New York City in the house. I'm originally from New York myself. Welcome, Nikita, to Lovedy Hall. You're now a Lovedy. Let's welcome Nikita to the show. But first, just want to tell you a little bit about my very talented friend who is joining us here on the program tonight, live and again direct from San Francisco, California. There he is. Don't you just love that shot? We're very excited to have him here. Great, great talent. And he has been playing as Romeo in the off-Broadway show Romeo and Bernadette, a musical tale of Verona and Brooklyn at the Amos Theater. He's been a part of numerous theater companies, especially in the Bay Area in San Francisco, having performed at various cabaret shows too. Recent credits have included Jack Kelly in Newsies, Curly in Oklahoma, Billy in 42nd Street, Jean Michael in La Cage aux Folles, Bobby Strong in Urinetown as well. Jesus, he played Jesus. Our guest tonight is Jesus. in, of course, Jesus Christ Superstar, and Drew Boley in the regional premiere of Rock of Ages, Tony and West Side Story, and so many others. We're so excited. He's got a real passion for performing. He graduated from UC Berkeley with a bachelor's in legal studies as well. So he's got that as a backup. He's really tremendous, and very excited to have him here on the show. Let's welcome him live and direct from the San Francisco Bay Area in California. A wonderful friend, Nikita, joining us. Nikita, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jim. Hi.
Hey, how are you? It's a pleasure.
I'm doing good. Good to be back in a Lovety Hall.
Isn't it cool, the whole Lovety thing?
It's such a great community and a great group of people. And I loved it back, I loved it back when I was here in mid-December for 2x2. It was such a blast. You're wonderful and just such a great bunch.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hey, Martin's tuning in from Colombia to see my friend Nikita. Welcome, Martin. Welcome to the
Welcome, buddy.
Yeah. How do you guys know each other?
Oh, that's a story that goes way back. Before I moved to New York City, which was a couple of years ago, I started a job of this new singing waiter restaurant.
Oh yeah,
similar to Ellen Stardust Diner, which is on 51st and 7th. It's called Gale's Broadway Rose, and it's right across the street from the Majestic Theater, where Phantom of the Opera plays in New York. And it's a brand new venue, but it was a great bunch that I'm very fortunate to work with. And one day, his aunt and uncle walk in, and I'm serving that day. I'm working for, singing and serving, and they are having a blast. They're loving the whole experience. So they start talking to me, and they start talking about their nephew who, from Colombia, who recommended this place to them. And they recommended it to him. That when he comes to the US, to New York, that he should come and check it out. And they loved it so much. They went back to Colombia. They still rave about it to this day. And from that point on, actually, the first time I ever met Martin was at one of the performances of Romeo and Bernadette. That was the first time that he came to see the show. And ever since then, it's just the kindest, the sweetest young man and that I have ever met, and just an incredible human being. So I'm so happy that he's on here with us today.
Oh, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. As we welcome him. And Samantha, thank you. I watched you with Nathan. Oh, thank you, Samantha. Nathan Carter, the wonderful Irish country music star. Any relation to Nathan with the same last name, Samantha, being Carter? Thank you, Jim, and everyone, for the welcome. Mary Bishop says, welcome. She's in Florida. Welcome, Nikita.
Thank you, Mary.
Karen says, I remember Nikita from the December show. I wish he could dance for us.
Oh,
you don't know what he went through just to get that set up perfectly where he is now. Everything he went through, heroics. I can verify that, right?
I gotta get a dual screenshot of tap shoes, a wooden floor and tap shoes, and then and my face at the same time. That's what I'm streaming for.
Exactly. Well, Karen, maybe this would suffice to hold you over.
There we go.
Tell us about that. That's a cool shot.
That was probably one of the most amazing theater experiences I've ever had. That was the regional premiere of A Rock of Ages out here in the Bay Area at a company called the Center Repertory Theater out in Walnut Creek, which is really close to where you're telling me recently is Lafayette.
Yes.
A beautiful venue out there called the Lesher Center for the Arts. And this was, yeah, like I say, I play Drew Boley, the leading character in that show, who sings all the best 80s hits. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Rock of Ages, but it's just a party from beginning to end. And
one of my friends actually was one of the major investors of the Broadway version.
oh, really?
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's so much fun, and this photo shoot was so much fun because I did it with one of my other cast members who played the character of Stacey Jacks in the show, Lucas Coleman, and we had a ball. It was so much fun. But this turned out so well, like the eyeliner and everything. And that is my pre-Jesus hair, because you introduced me that Jesus is a special guest today. As soon as you can see, it's getting back there again. But that was the idea. This was the idea for Rock of Ages in that production. It didn't grow fast enough.
Well, your hair, like you and I were just talking about, that your hair is a lot longer now, and mine is, if I take the hat off, my hair actually comes down to my shoulders now, and it's got that weight where it comes down nicely. But I haven't had it cut in. Now it's like a challenge. Now it's like, when we drive from up here in the Northeast, because I'm from New York originally, but I live between New York and Boston on the southern New England coast. And when we drive to visit family in Florida, a lot of times I'm the driver, and we're going down I-95 all the way to Florida, and it becomes a challenge. Like, oh, come on, do we really have to stop? We're almost in Virginia. Wait. Okay, can't you hold it? We're almost in North Carolina. Oh, no, it becomes like so the hair has become the same thing, where like it hasn't been cut since March, mine. And right now it looks a lot shorter, but if we take the hat off, boom. But it looks kind of cool. People actually like it. I've worn it on television. People are like, oh, I kind of like it. It's different. But eventually I'm going to get it, coiffed or whatever. But now that we're getting closer to March, it's almost like, how long can I get it to March and do one full year without it ever? It's the longest I've ever had it. It's the longest I've ever gone without a cut. And I mean, yours looks cool too. I mean,
I've done this once before. I was doing a production of a musical called Dogfight. It's a Pasek and Paul musical out in here in the Bay, called a company called San Francisco Playhouse, right in the heart of San Francisco near Union Square. And back then, though, they didn't tell us at first, but they told us that we're playing Marines, and they told us that we had to buzz cut our heads, to which I've never done anything like that before ever in my life. And you get a whole sense of a new definition of the word brain freeze,
right?
Because it was a nice windy day in San Francisco, and you walk out without a hat, with your head shaved, and it's freezing. It's freezing. Your head is freezing, and it feels like your brain is about to freeze. So a whole new definition of brain freeze. But from that point, and I remember I got the gig. I did a Jesus Christ Superstar about a year and a half, almost 2 years. It was a far in advance book. Since Dogfight, and between that buzz cut and the production of Jesus Christ Superstar, I didn't have a single haircut. It was about 2 years where I didn't have a single haircut, and it was pretty much to this. It's getting to the same point where it's. I usually get a Jufro, but it's starting to
come down.
Come down.
Mine is doing that too, where it gets some weight to it. Actually, it's better like when it does that, because it gets to a point where it, instead of going out, it's coming down nicely. Right. So it actually, and then what I have found too is, like when you shower and shampoo and condition and do everything, that if you don't blow dry it, you just let it dry. And I was watching a couple of videos about it. I was watching long hair videos, like, what do you do now when it's this long? And they were saying, the best way to do it is to don't blow dry it, because then it goes boom.
Right.
Just let it dry on its own. And then usually like the second day or the third day, it's really great. And it's very manageable. Like 2-3 days later, when you've slept on it, you've done nothing with it, and you just go, and it wants to do
the same situation.
And it looks awesome. It's like
after 2-3 days, I go, why does this not happen after I take a shower immediately?
Right.
No, it only takes. So that's why if I prepare for something, like some sort of event or something. Not that I don't wash my head for 2 days,
It's
but
just, it looks better 2 days later.
A day at least to get the most prime level of volume or just
definition
look,
and control. Control too.
Control, exactly. And the most important thing, I think, is control at this point. But I have a whole new reason why it's growing out this now. I mean, originally my director for Romeo and Bernadette, Justin Ross Cohen, who he originally told me that we would have loved for you, you know, for, oh my goodness, for Romeo Verona, as we always like to say, to have kind of long, you know, hair that grows out, gets down lower. And at that point, you know, it was definitely not going to grow the way it was. And it worked out for the show the way that it was beautifully. But I guess my hair right now is kind of the hope.
Right.
It is the hope that Broadway comes back sooner than later. It is the hope that our wonderful show comes back sooner than later. And I know, I hope every time that it does, because it grew, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, it was a rocket that just kept flying and flying up. Yeah. We were so impressed with it, and the press was really impressed with it. And I was so honored to be a part of, you know, it's a small show. It's a small project, but I was so honored to be a part of a project, and that's our logo right there for the show, of something that was really positively, accepted and taken account for in such a short period of time.
And you just had like the big opening. I think I saw a photo where there was like a cake cutting and everything in, you were cutting it with Juliet, I think in like January or something, right? Of last year.
So yesterday, January 23rd, 2020 was a year since we opened the show. So this is kind of and I'm very excited tonight because I'm going to be singing a song from this show, which I have never sang outside of the show itself.
Oh, so this is another world premiere exclusive on the Jim Masters show.
Right on the Jim Masters show right here.
That's tell you, we have so many world premiere exclusives. It's unbelievable. We just gave a hair tip to everybody. Wash the hair, don't blow dry it, and wait 2 days. And man, is it going to be good if you got long hair. A Jim Masters and Nikita tip.
There's a process, people. There's a process.
There's a process, people. Exactly. Avril is saying hello to everybody. She's watching in the United Kingdom, in Hampshire, one of our regular lovities. Happy Sunday to everybody, which is nice. Love to see. As you know, it's a very interactive show, so we love to welcome everybody. Christopher Hewitt says hello as well. Welcome, Christopher. We love Chris. Christopher here, and that's really cool. Mary Bishop in Florida says welcome as well. Good to see you, Mary. She's a wonderful person and one of our lovities. We absolutely love it. Let's see. We have some more coming in here. Let's see. Oh, Karen says she can't wait to be back to New York City to take in some of the Broadway shows. Yeah. Willie likes the shorter hair, of course. Willie likes short hair better. That's why the world goes round. That's why the world goes round.
At least so does my fiance. I'll tell you that much right now.
Kathleen Walker balances it out by saying you both look great. Although, well, see mine right now with the hat, it makes it look a lot shorter. Now, and Mona goes,
style, Jim. You have such style with the fedoras. It's beautiful.
Mona is now, thank you, Nikita. Mona is now saying, now you see what women go through with long hair. You both have great hair. That's true. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mona. Yeah. Thank you. And Karen, Nova Scotia says, I love how you guys love talking about your hair routine. So adorable. Hey, you know, and Juanita in South Africa says, yep. Hair looks the greatest just before you need to wash it again. I'd always heard that. I've watched videos. I've heard it from the professionals, you know, that they say it's like 2 days, 3 days after where it looks great. Hi, Jim and everyone from Soroya. Cassandra Bain, who's a wonderful singer and performer, wonderful R&B singer. She says, keep the hair. Yeah. She says, keep the hair.
I'm going to start a tally right here in the back.
She loves the curly hair that's in the photo, you know, the promo photo we used.
Yes.
Loves it. Karen loves Rock of Ages. Karen asks, what type of dance do you do? I love your photos. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
you're doing
Karen, I mostly grew up doing Broadway jazz, but most of the time I did tap dance, and that was the category of dance that I mostly focused on. I mean, I don't know whether it's because it was Broadway, but my younger brother Dan, he's an incredible dancer. Growing up, he danced here locally in the town that I'm from in the Bay, and I loved watching him every single time. He's just so light on his feet. I mean, the technique, the technicality, and I was so impressed watching him. And I was always the singer dancer, musical theater guy. I was the one that was the performer. But my brother and I both did actually martial arts. We got our black belts in martial arts over a span of 10 years. And that martial arts, the flexibility, the agility that it brings out in martial arts, there's a certain element of dance in martial arts that you wouldn't expect, and that really helps you out as you move forward in a career of theater and dance. And
right, exactly.
Even when a person thinks you look like you're really professionally trained, and you look like you've really been placed with your arms or things like that, I have to give a lot of credit to the fact that I didn't dance as much, focus as much on dance, rather than I did combining my dance technique with the martial arts that I did very thoroughly and worked very often in growing up. So those two things really helped me out, to the fact that I actually have a show coming up that it's going to involve a lot of dance. And I was so excited when the team that, when they saw me, they told me, we had no idea you were such a great dancer. I never once do I say I am dancer first, but this group says, where did you learn how to dance? I mean, you did so great. And I said, I'm going to take your word for it. If you really think that I'm dancing here, then we got something going on, know? So there you go. But mostly I did Broadway jazz and tap.
Broadway jazz and tap. Merlin in Ontario, Canada, do you have a favorite tapper? Somebody who,
right.
Sammy Davis Jr. was always great, and Gregory Hines, and so many.
I grew up on Gene Kelly and
Gene
Fred
Kelly,
Astaire. Those are some of the best. I actually, because of 2x2, which happened recently, I went on a Danny Kaye binge. He's incredible, and there were moments where there were definitely a number of times where he did tap dancing.
That's right.
I had no idea that he had such a time. I mean, I wouldn't think that he's on a par. I wouldn't think that he's on par with incredible professionals like Gene Kelly, but he danced his own.
He held his own, right?
He held his own, and he had the talent for it. And it's really impressive to find someone new from that time era. Because personally, movie musicals from the 40s, 50s, 60s, it's something special.
They really are.
It's not as done as often today, but
they were all done on film too. That film-esque quality, the softness and the warmth of film, sometimes that can't necessarily be matched. Can be to a degree, but not exactly as in digital as it is with the warmth of film.
Exactly.
Just create.
And when I found out that Gene Kelly did Singing in the Rain in one take with 101 degree fever.
Yeah, that's right.
I found that out. I bowed down. I bowed down immediately, because that's
I know his wife Patricia Kelly, and she did a video on that, and she was talking about that, and it was extraordinary how sick he actually was when he did that Singing in the Rain, and just did it and nailed it, and unbelievable. That's talent. That is tenacity. That's resilience, huh?
Right.
Well, have you found that too? I mean, I found it where there's times I'm on the air and I'm doing something on television, radio, stage, whatever, where I'm not feeling well at all. But the key is to not really let that be incorporated in what you've got to do. Matter of fact, there was one time I was not feeling well at all. And I was, I could tell something was starting, and I was on the air on a radio show actually for 4 hours. And I was hosting it, and there was no co-host, and it was on and on and on. And it was an evening show, and it was like till 10 o'clock at night. And I remember that I said, going in, I said, getting a little bit of a tickle in the throat, and something's a little off. But because it was a show where I had to be high energy, and I had to be really high energy and excited on the air, and taking calls from listeners, and it was a very high energy show. So I had to keep things moving, and we had very few commercials. So there wasn't a lot of stuff I could just go to. And by the time the show ended, it's amazing how your body, when it knows it has a mission in front of it, and you've got to do this job, and there's no out, there's no like escape hatch, you can't jump off, especially when you're live on stage or you're live on the air, and there's just no way out. You just got to do it. Sometimes it's mind over matter, and your body takes over, the adrenaline takes over, and it sort of numbs or masks whatever else is brewing. And what happened was, as soon as it said, "Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow," whatever, all of a sudden, chills, fever, sore throat. I could barely talk. And I went into the studio where the crew was. I'm like, I'm not feeling good at all. And I had like 103 temperature, and I was sick as a dog that night and the next day. But during the show, the mind took over and said, I've got to do this, and I'm going to be focused on the job at hand. I'm sure there's times where you've been in positions on stage or elsewhere where you were just not feeling good at all. You weren't feeling well, but you had to get through what you had to get through.
I personally think as a performer, when it comes to those moments of feeling unwell, it's a part of the journey. Right. And in fact, it's it's almost like a battle scar that, you sit down with your friends and you talk about oh, you got this story. Well, let me tell you about this situation that happened to me. It's putting on a show, putting on a performance. A lot of people think that it's not. It's just all roses and it's the easiest thing. You get up there, you sing a few tunes, but the amount of time that comes in to preparing to give how much you give every single night, and especially if you're doing a show 8 times a week, oh my goodness.
Yes.
But when you're starting to feel unwell, when a muscle gets pulled right before showtime, and I remember I think Rock of Ages, actually, that production you were talking about of Rock of Ages was probably one of the most injury-prone production shows that I've ever been a part of. I did everything from pulling a hamstring, like I heard a rip right before I did a showtime. When I started the show that night, I got bronchitis in the middle of that run, and one of my other cast members, I didn't have an understudy, and one of my other cast members had to sing for me because my voice is gone, and it's all up in the stratosphere, that role. Sing for me the entire weekend, my track as long as his track for that weekend of performances. He's to this day, I give him a medal. He's a hero to the fact that he sang my track and his track for that entire show. I mean, people gave him a standing O, and it had to be done. But I think back now, just with Romeo and Bernadette, the Off-Broadway show that I just did, and the onset of coronavirus, my first day of rehearsal, I got into rehearsal, I was sounding fine, and I get home that night and chills. And this was back in late December. I think started Christmas time of 2019. And my temperature went through the roof. I think I was definitely 102, 103 at least. And we had to do media. We had to do a press shoot for the introduction of the show and things like that the following day. But my artistic director, bless her heart, Donna Trinkoff, she said, listen, we have this time, take a few days off. Don't worry about this situation. We're going to get back in the game because you're contagious. And to this moment, my cast members and I talk, because that run was rough overall. I mean, we had so much fun. We were so excited that we premiered a brand new show.
Yeah.
But in the middle right now, when you think back, in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic, right? What did we have? we were in the middle of New York City, and you remember New York City back in March and
Sure.
February.
It was an epicenter. Yeah.
I was walking around, and you have to think about the fact that we're in masks right now and how much precaution we take with hand sanitizers and wipes and Clorox wipes and things like that. You would imagine at this moment, how, did I have it? Did I not have it? One of my cast members definitely told me, he said, I lost my sense of smell back then. And I don't, for a couple of days or so, he tells me, I actually lost my sense of taste. I never feel like I lost my sense of smell, but I lost my sense of taste somewhere on the time when I was sick back in December. Could be anything else. You don't know.
Right.
But who knows? Anything was possible back then. And you're walking in the middle of, Midtown Manhattan, and there you are. It could be anywhere.
It was all new, right? It was all new to everybody. Yeah.
And I remember my family flying in mid-February because I was out in California, and they flew in for the last week of the show to come see me in the show. And we were all thinking back now that we were all there with airports, back then. Yeah, some people wear masks while they're in their airplanes even back then, but right now, everybody has to. It's a requirement. And March was a crazy month. March was a crazy month.
Yeah, absolutely. And every month past that has been too, and it's still a little crazy, but hoping for the best. How have you been staying busy? And obviously, that wonderful production had to come to a grinding halt, as so many of them did, and so many aspects of our lives, all of us, everybody, the whole world's been affected by the pandemic, the economy, all these things happening all at the same time.
It's crazy. I mean, we were so excited because we were ready to get a lot of benefits from the show, and we were, it's steady pay, and we were the most important thing is we were so excited was that the show was about to transfer. So we did about a 5-week run at the place called the Art New York, which is on 53rd and 10th. Midtown, and it's it's a beautiful venue, but we actually were about to transfer in the middle of transfer to Theater Row, which is right on 42nd Street. I'm super excited. I was so excited for that, and we were going into Tech Week for the show. And
explain what that is for folks watching who might not know what Tech Week is actually like.
Of course, yeah. Tech Week is usually the week that you go into the theater. It's your first week into the theater, and the lighting designer comes in, the sound designer comes in, the costumes start to appear. But for starters, you start to place your blocking and the show essentially on the stage in a way that you did in your rehearsal space, wherever you were rehearsing, now based on the rubric of what the stage and the set looks like. That is the week that you start using microphones, you start doing dress rehearsals meaning in your costume. You start using the lighting design that we in his shows, which were done by Ken Billington, a Tony Award winning lighting designer, which is incredible. And after that, once Tech Week is done, you get a week of previews and a couple of weeks of previews, and then once that's done, you open the show, and that's your once you start running the show, on you go. As long as the audience like it and the show permits itself, or whoever permits itself, you run the show.
Run the show. So you were at that point. It was Tech Week then,
and we were. It was a quick transfer. In the sense of, we got the place, we had about a week to we had about a week to really readjust to this new stage. I mean, dynamically it was so different. And but everybody and the space was much bigger. It was so exciting, and it was just really at the heart of New York, and everybody's walking around, saying hi with their elbows. Hey, we got to stay away from each other. It was at that point already, but nonetheless, we were still going. The show goes on. We were going to have another Tech Week, set everything up. We were starting to, really readjust to the stage, get new effects in. It was so exciting. And a couple of days passed. I think we had one tech day. Now, yeah, one day. On the second day, we come in 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and we're setting up several. We see our costumes, things like that. We're getting ready for a long day. It's a 10 to 10 because it's, we had less time at that point. And, our producer, Eric Krebs, comes up to us and he goes, guys, I have an announcement to make. And he sits us all down and he says, I don't know how else to say this to you guys, but, we're closing down. And we were devastated, as any one of my cast members and as any person in the entertainment industry in New York and honestly anywhere in the United States would agree with me that, you're in the middle of a project and you got to shut down, not for any other reason, not for low ticket sales, not for something wrong with the show, something that people didn't approve of, or no, it was because of the pandemic, and as the day went by, I a couple of days passed after that, and Broadway started shutting down show after show, and I said, you know what, I kind of have no reason to be in New York at this moment. So I packed up my one bag and I got to the plane before somebody told me, a friend of mine told me that, one of my cast members from the show told me that they were going to lock down Manhattan at the time. Yeah. I got so nervous about that. So I was like, I have to get out of Manhattan before they lock it down. I got on a plane and I came here to California, and I've been with my family ever since. And I'm so fortunate that I'm able to spend this time with my family because, I had a couple of years where it's unusual for me because I'm so used to it. I love my parents and I love my brother. My grandmother lives with me here. And I'm so, fortunate that I have them here with me right now. But we're waiting for the day, just like Karen was saying. Karen, can't wait for the day that we can all enjoy New York again and enjoy seeing each other's shows, seeing each other's creativity, the artistry that New York brings. And I really can't wait for the day.
And it is beautiful. A lot of people have been saying that they've been very appreciative of this time where they've been able to spend some time with the family, because we all lead very busy lives. And oftentimes we don't get a chance to spend time with our loved ones and catch up with them and, engage and just regroup with everybody. And we've had literally ample time to do that, which has been terrific and really beautiful. It's been very special. I mean, as horrific as all of this has been and continues to be in certain ways, there have been some beautiful things that have happened as well. People have gotten in touch with loved ones, but also in touch with who they are. And also, some of the things that bring themselves blessing and joy. A lot of people have been looking in the mirror and saying, okay, this is what I've done so far. These are the things I've accomplished. This is where I've been. What are some of the things I want to do next chapter coming out of this? What do we want to do? What do we want to accomplish? And some people have been totally rewriting their scripts and totally changing their lives or enhancing what they've been doing before, or now doing things that they've always wanted to do that they sort of had on the back burner, whether it's taking up a hobby or writing a book or whatever it is, doing things that has been filling their heart and soul. Have you been touching base with some of that with yourself as well, Nikita?
Absolutely. I mean, for starters, I've been trying to readjust to essentially what you and I are doing right now. This is our main means of entertainment and our creative artistry outside of actually sitting in a dark room, and listening to someone perform something, sing something, watch a play, watch a musician. It's working at this point. Yeah, it is. But people have to really be technically adjusted to be able to do what we are doing right now. And honestly, to this day, I'm learning every day how I can enhance equipment for what we're doing now so that I get better quality. I can bring out a message that I'm trying to a message to come across artistically more efficiently than I would if I was or just as efficiently as if an audience member was watching me give a performance live on a stage.
Right, exactly.
There's certain elements, of course, that you will never be able to recreate, I think, in the way that we are doing right now. But gosh darn it, I'm going to try. Because it's all or nothing in this situation. So that's been really keeping me afloat. I've really been interested in writing my own music lately. I've grown up. I've grown up playing piano. I've always been interested in piano. I've never really had any professional training per se, but I've done the basics as a singer. I've learned how to, as a singer, read music and enhanced my playing, my piano playing based on learning how to sing, read music as a singer. That is to say, I do not read sheet music as a musician. I mean, there I go, and there's my book in English, and off I go. No, that's not how I can't read sheet music.
Can you play by ear? Can you play by ear?
Yeah. So I'm very good. I'm very fortunate in the sense that I can really hear a tune and pick it up as I go along fairly quickly. And I've really worked on. I've been working on that for years, for as long as I could remember. It really helps me as a performer picking up music. I don't think that I'm I wouldn't say I'm pitch perfect. Definitely not. But I definitely feel I'm fortunate that if I'm singing a song, or if I know someone who's singing a song a cappella, I immediately know that they're not in the key that they're supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately know that give yourself a half step up, whole step up, bring it down a little. I don't know. It's just something it's inherently there.
Right. Yeah.
And so I've been working on that,
You've got a good ear.
Yeah. Really focusing even more as further as I can on my ear. And I'm really trying to establish myself as a technicality, as a musical technicality, learning how to read music, as well as being able to learn how to play it by ear, trying to combine the two elements together. That's something. So as an artist, that's what I've been trying to progress towards, and things like that. On top of that, there's been TikTok musical trends going on. There's this like amazing new musical called Bridgerton, like the TV series, the Netflix TV series that's happening right now. It's going off. I just did a number for a good friend of mine, Ellis Gage, who's actually on the show.
Oh yeah, Ellis.
Sure,
yeah.
He's writing a TikTok musical as well, and it's thriving. So we're trying to do projects where we can, and I was very fortunate to have to be working with Walter Willison when we did 2x2 over the holidays. I'm a huge fan of Richard Rodgers, always have been. Senior high school performance was Curly in Oklahoma, and it definitely came in handy. But this was definitely a new project. I loved picking up this project because it was something I've never heard of before, shockingly. And to hear new classic Broadway music, to me, of course, new, that I've never heard before, and to be able to perform it, with a Tony nominee actor who played the show himself back in 1970.
Yeah.
Broadway production itself, with cast members like Danny Kaye, with cast members like Madeline Kahn.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And not to mention that some of my other cast members, like Tony Award winner Karen Ziamba, was in it, and she was a guest with you here as well. And then Nikenji, who's going to be on with you next week, it's all of their credits and their artistry. It's and actually, I had a guest who was not with you on the show that one, but Michael Natardonato, who was with me, who played my best friend in Romeo and Bernadette, the character of Dino. He was in that show with me. To be nice to be reunited with him.
Yeah,
and all his talent again. It was beautiful. So trying to stay busy where we can, really, recording more numbers, and virtually.
That's what it is.
Projects come along, and Karen said it best last time. She said, "Project comes along, you take it." I think there's no questions asked at this moment. You have to stay alive creatively as best as you can, because it's going to, you don't know how long this is going to last. I mean, we're praying that these vaccines will be distributed, and this will really make a difference in where we are in terms of this pandemic, and how much we'll be able to actually give out our artistry again, and to be able to get paid for it, and and to have people enjoy the special, the thing that makes it so special of watching a live performance. It's something that you can't beat. It's its own unique force. And I hope that one day, I hope that starts changing soon. It starts coming back soon. And I've been singing a lot of, I've been basing myself on social media and the music that I give out and the songs that I sing and the performances that I give out over this past year, based on positivity, based on hope. I am that type of person that even
it's the way to go.
I may have days where I don't feel, there may be days where I'm down and out. There may be days where I feel like I can't go on, but I have to admit that my background in music, my love for theater, it definitely gives me days where it's just that extra push. It's that push to keep you going. And I watch how so many people in my community, whether it's here in the Bay Area, whether it's in New York City, wherever people are right now, because everybody is went in so many different directions, how they're trying their hardest to keep going. And I couldn't be prouder of everybody in their own entities right now who are doing what they can to keep the industry alive and I really think it's going to come back.
Keep hope alive.
I have that hope.
That famous phrase that we all know, keep hope alive. Absolutely. Nikita, stepping back a little bit in time, how did you first get started? When did you say, hey, I want to be a performer, I want to be a singer and an actor and a dancer? And for you, what came first? And what were some of those early childhood inspirations for you growing up, where the family and everybody realized this kid, he's got something here, and let's spur him on and encourage him? What were your sources of inspiration as a youth coming up the ranks?
Well, for starters, I'm actually an immigrant. I immigrated to the United States when I was about 7, from a country called Uzbekistan. There were a lot of my background is mostly Russian. I'm actually fluent in Russian. I speak English and Russian, and Russian's technically my first language. Of course, at this point, I can't really consider myself a ESL per se. But when I started off, when I started going to elementary school here in the United States, I was a very exploring person. Growing up, even back in Uzbekistan, I would get up on my kitchen table and I'd perform. I'd get a giant spoon and I'd sing my favorite song at the time, or any event that happened on a stage. I had no fear of getting up and performing. And I noticed that a lot of performers that I know have a tendency to be able to do that at a very young age, which is amazing to know. That means that I'm doing something right, that I was going in the direction that I really wanted to go. When I moved here, I was 7, and I think I was in second grade. Second grade I started when I first moved here. And I was trying out a lot of different things. I actually started out doing extracurricular violin class when I was a young kid. And I was really interested, not just because I was very interested in playing violin, but because all the kids had the cool cases. Yeah. And, everybody in elementary school who had the violin case was the cool kid. I don't know why that was the thing, but I wanted the case and the violin to go with it. I started it off, and at the time, because of the fact that at that time I was learning things on the fly. I was learning English on the fly. I was learning how to act with my peers on the fly with somebody that in a whole new country. It was scary, but
then you had to learn how to eat hot dogs with mustard at the ballpark.
That took some time. Thanksgiving, what's that? We don't have that there.
Turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing. Matter of fact, you were just saying, actually, in the tradition, your family was just this weekend. You're taking the holiday decorations, everything down, because within the culture, the Christmas holiday and all the other traditions that go along with it extend through the month of January, just about, right?
That's right. Yeah. So the first weekend of January, which I think is January 6th, is Russian Orthodox Christmas. So I technically have 2 Christmases. happening. It's not as big of a celebration.
Do you
As
make out great gift-wise, or
no. I mean, we just kind of, we celebrate it, of course. We don't do like a second round of gifts or
yeah,
anything like that. It's actually in Russian culture, the New Year's Eve is the holiday to be able to. It's like the Christmas in Russia,
right?
And Russian culture. Whereas as much as Christmas in December 25th in Russia is not that big of a deal, we embraced the concept of December 25th here in the United States when we started living here. But it was never a big deal for my parents growing up in the Soviet Union. It was never not that big of a deal. But New Year's Eve is the holiday. It is you're cooking all day. It is the tree, the presents under the tree. It's what we like to say Grandpa Frost, or in Russian Deda Moroz, that brings out all the gifts to you. So that was all fascinating. All these clashes of cultures and things like that as a kid. I mean,
Santa Claus and all the rest.
Fascinating, right? To merge all of those things together. Right now, I have my categories of what I know is what. But on top of that, we also have a second week of January celebration where we talk about where we kind of say goodbye to the old year. And again, it's not, it's another dinner kind of situation, gather with family, things like that. But it's just kind of a farewell to the old year. And as you were saying, we couldn't say, we couldn't wait to say goodbye to this past one.
Good riddance to 2020.
Oh, yes, it's here. Let's say goodbye.
Burn that 2020 calendar. Throw it in the trash and light it up.
Oh my goodness. So, but yeah. So finally, the holidays are done.
That's it. Right.
The holidays are officially done. People always ask us, your tree is still, it's like almost February. Your tree is still standing up. It's like, well, the holidays aren't over for us.
Well, a lot of people have said that they've been keeping their trees. A lot of people put the trees up earlier this year. They welcomed Christmas earlier than normal, and they've been keeping things a little bit longer just because of the positivity and inspiration it gives while we're going through all of what we've been going through and all the negativity that's swirling all around us.
Right.
So whether it's political or it's economic or societal or the pandemic, a lot of people, I saw people putting Christmas lights up in March, actually, as a symbol of light and color, which was really interesting. And this year, I think people didn't care so much that Christmas decorations in the stores were coming out in October as normally they would, because it was giving them, a sense of something joyful and blessings and love and family.
And
right.
That kind of positive feeling that you get in the middle of the holiday season,
right,
up from one another, and
so you were saying absolutely. You were saying, so in those early years, some of those inspirations for you. So were those inspirations initially in Uzbekistan for you growing up?
I never
by
really
music.
I never performed when I was back in Uzbekistan, and my grandmother was a choreographer back in the Soviet Union, and she was a ballerina in her younger days, and she performed growing up, and my mom did choreography as well, so they have that there's a talent gene that definitely revolves in my family that I'm so fortunate to have. But in terms of anybody in my family, that is my engagement on from last year on September 6th.
That's right.
The whole gang is there. But
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So the whole family there, is that your grandmother in the middle?
Right in the middle. That is my the choreographer. And then all the way on the left side is my fiance's Elizabeth, her parents. And my brother right there behind my grandmother, and Dan and his girlfriend, Kimberly. And my mom right next to the right of my grandmother, and my dad all the way in the end. And little Bruce Wayne Burshteyn right there, down there, if you can see him, the Cocker Spaniel.
Oh, yeah.
Posing for the picture like it's something he's supposed to do. There we are.
He said yes. That's very cool. Where was that? Is that in California?
This was a Donner Lake. Really close to Lake Tahoe, if some of you people know.
Yes, beautiful.
The Lovetti group knows about Lake Tahoe.
Yeah,
but it was a wonderful time.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I know how happy you are. It's evidenced in this photo. That's happiness. That's happiness.
Yeah, it was. That's pure joy right there. That is pure joy. It's probably one of the happiest days of my life right there.
Yeah,
It's incredible. And my fiance, there we. Oh, I love that one. I love that one so
it's a
much.
nice shot. What's her first name?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth
Peterson. And she's
Beautiful.
actually in the industry too. She's a Radio City Rockette.
Is she really?
Yes, sir. Yes. And she was supposed to be starting her, I believe, her 8th year.
Wow. How'd you guys meet? In New York?
No, we actually met in the Bay Area. We started. I was doing a production called musical called Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, sure.
Which is was on Broadway back in 2011, and I was so excited because I really wanted to play the character of Frank Abagnale. I was obsessed with at this year Tony nominee Aaron Tveit, who played the role on Broadway that year, and I got cast in the role. But I remember being in the dance call, and this was just a recent trip. We were at Crater Lake in Oregon.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. But I remember
things you're getting a chance to do with the family that you might not have had an opportunity to do.
And honestly, it's been a while. Exactly.
Yeah, right. So there are some blessings for people who've been able to do these things with family, and your grandmother always looks so happy and joyful in these photos,
She's so cute. I remember everybody from back in those years, back when I was in elementary school, I remember she would walk from our house to my elementary school, give us hot lunches every single day. And to this day, my classmates go, "How is your grandmother doing?" Because they have not forgotten. They have not forgotten how, first of all, how adorable she is, and how, by the way, she never ages.
No.
And
hopefully that runs in the family, right?
Fingers crossed, Jim.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, let's see. Rini Katz says her grandmother was born in Odessa.
Ukraine, yes.
And Juanita says in South Africa says lovely family. And Linda in Florida says beautiful family, Nikita. And Rini says very cute pictures. Nova Scotia, Karen says a beautiful couple. Willie in Holland says congratulations. Mona says beautiful family, great picture. Congratulations. Merlin in Ontario, Canada. Congrats, Nikita. Congratulations from Linda in St. Augustine, Florida. Denise, these are the Lovedies. Congratulations from Denise. Very nice photos from Kathleen in New York City. Congrats, Nikita. She's beautiful, beautiful and congratulations from Ann Wozniak. Again, if you ever need a dose of levity, just come on the Jim Masters Show live, my friend.
I love the love. You feel the levity. You feel it.
That's the way we started it, and it just has blossomed. Beautiful couple from Rini Katz, Mary Bishop in Florida. Congratulations, Nikita and Elizabeth. Beautiful couple. Willie in Holland. Beautiful lady. More. Oh, they love the snow picture with the family together. And Elizabeth Peterson, love you.
Oh, there she is.
Welcome, Elizabeth. Good to have you with us.
Welcome.
welcome.
I was hoping she was getting all the love from the levity.
One of these days we should have her on as a guest and talk about what it's like being a Radio City Rockette. What a story. Right. What a story that must be, because you don't usually get a chance to chat, in that detail with somebody who does something, as beloved as being a Rockette. I mean, and the Christmas show and everything else.
She's incredible.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. Hope we'll see each other, we'll see each other for dinner or something soon, that
please
past all this COVID stuff. Yes, that beautiful picture in the snow. Mona loves it. Juanita, South Africa. Congratulations. Beautiful pictures. My daughter's middle name is Elizabeth, and also both of her grandmothers are Elizabeth as well. That's cool. Maureen says, may you both live happily ever after.
Thank you, Maureen.
And she sounds like a wonderful grandmother. Your grandmother as well. And she made all the sandwiches and everything. Yes, Jim, would love to hear about her being a Rockette. Yeah, that would be wonderful. That's Karen in Nova Scotia. Mm-hmm. That would be cool. The Rockettes are awesome. Kathleen's in New York City. Elizabeth says, I feel the lovity love. And thank you, Jim. Our pleasure. That's what it's all about. And you got a good guy here, Elizabeth. You picked well. He's a good guy, good egg, good heart. Welcome, Elizabeth. You're a lovity now. So you're both lovities. See? You're both lovities. Christopher Hewitt, such congrats. Nikita and Elizabeth,
Thank you, Chris.
you two are so perfect for each other. I love you guys. From Christopher. Martine in Columbia says, Liz. kind of like Liz Taylor, right? Liz.
Martin knows Liz very well. He
Congratulations
does.
And feeling the lovity. My family has roots in Croatia.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I want to go to Croatia sometime. Gorgeous country. Gorgeous. And
Nikita is the best from Elizabeth. Dawn's just such a talented couple. I think we hit a nerve here. Hello, a good one. Hello,
we hit a center.
Striking oil.
Dawn, I saw Dawn. She's we used to dance together back in my dance school here in Alameda, California, and hopefully I'll have a chance sometime to dance with her again. She's so sending off to Dawn. Wow, it's great to see you.
Yes. Well. So you were saying a little bit again about some of those, early years for you and some of those early influences.
Yeah, and well, I had to leave violin because my grades were kind of falling apart, and so I had to give myself some time and find another extracurricular activity. And there's a after school program that was for teen kids theater, and I joined it and I never stopped. I did it every year after that. And after I finished elementary school, there was a teen theater program. I started doing that. And after that, I kept going. I played all of these like leading roles as a 13-year-old that, only a 40-year-old man would play, like Jean Valjean or Gaston and Beauty and the Beast. It was hilarious.
You've got an old soul.
Seriously. And once that happened, I joined my high school drama department, and it was actually in my high school drama department. That my first vocal coach, Carrie Litchford, told my parents and said, "Listen, you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but I think you really should consider about the fact that your son is really good at this, and he might need to move forward in this direction more professionally." And that's, before that, I've always loved theater. I've always loved hanging out with friends. I always loved learning about the shows that I did. But I wanted to be an actor for as long as I wanted, but I didn't know what area I was going to go in. And musical theater really started to grow in my life as my performance outlet, as my main form of performing. And he really gave my parents the drive, the motivation to push me forward in that idea. And then the year after I finished high school, I did my first production in community college, which is a show called Spring Awakening. And it's crazy to think that I was supposed to start a brand new show. I was supposed to join a company of a brand new show called Swept Away, that was directed by the director of that, the Tony winner of that production, the Broadway production of Spring Awakening, Michael Mayer, and who's one of the leading characters in the show in this production is John Gallagher Jr., who played the character of Moritz in that production. It's crazy to think that, my very first community theater production back then was, a production that involved both of these people.
Wow.
And I'm about to, over this past summer, was supposed to start rehearsals for this production, but has been pushed to this, last summer, now has been pushed to this upcoming summer, and now has actually been pushed to December of the end of this year, just, for the sake of things happening.
Right.
But, it's staying strong, and we're hoping that, we'll have the opportunity to bring that story to life and to really to play the music, because the music is based off the Avett Brothers, which is a very, famous folk rock, folk band here. And, was very excited to join that company, and you never know how things will turn out. But ever since then, I know I pushed myself. I started getting vocal lessons. I started going to dance classes. I did martial arts. I balanced all the things, and while I studied. And
somebody asked if you still do martial arts at all.
I want to, well, whoever it was, I want to come back and do it. I mean, it was such an important part of my life, and it brought, it makes me feel younger. Not that I'm, really old, but getting older, and it makes me feel limber. It makes me feel more flexible. It really brings out a whole new level of energy in you. And I really want to find a good area, a good place where I can really bring that back out and practice kung fu. I did kung fu growing up mostly, and it was a really huge part of my life. So I'm really hoping that maybe when I get back to New York, or when this kind of gets over, I'll try to get back into that zone. But as a performer now, I also have to be careful not to hurt myself.
Yes,
at a certain level.
Yeah. The producers don't want to hear that, right?
Exactly. I remember, one year I did a sparring. I sparred one of my classmates at my studio, and he kicked me right in the throat. I mean, we were wearing gear. I was wearing a mask, and I was wearing a chest pad, but I flinched, and all I had open was literally this area of my throat. And he spun back, kicked me right in there. And as a singer, you start getting so nervous about, whoa, what's going to happen to you? That was a rough week, but things recovered. And
you'd rather have the 103 fever again as opposed to that, huh?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But then again, right now, once you start getting a fever, you're always scared. Oh man,
then that's what's happening, right? Anytime people get sniffles or a headache, everybody's saying, what could this so what
Right.
are some other doors that opened up for you, Nikita, and opportunities that came your way that started really getting this journey and this career rolling for you so far?
Well, I after I finished, guys, I went through community college, and that's where I really started to gain things like, starting to work up on my professional equity career. I'm an honored Actors Equity Association member right now, and but it took a few years to get to that point, of course. I was so fortunate to be able to share my talent, and so many people here in the Bay Area. I can't thank the Bay Area theater community enough for trusting in me to entrusting me to do so many productions that involve union work.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many people that are striving to do union work, and to be able to raise myself to get to all the points that's necessary to get my card, and everything worked out beautifully. I did my first equity production actually back in the Bay Area here, where I am right now, with a company called 42nd Street Moon, and it was an old Stephen Sondheim musical called Saturday Night. It's one of his first shows that he's ever written, but ironically also his last, because at the time the producer died and the show never actually went off. But it was actually put up again back in the 1990s. So it was actually one of his most latest musicals at the time. But I was very fortunate to have that first experience as an equity actor back in the Bay before I moved here in New York. But as I was finishing Berkeley, and as you know, you mentioned before, I graduated from University of California, Berkeley, and my last semester of in Berkeley, there was an ad that went out for the new West Side Story movie, the one that Steven Spielberg is directing. Has directed and is actually was supposed to come out this past December, and now has been postponed to next December, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing. But it was a simple Facebook advertisement, is one that said, hey, we're looking for the roles of Tony, Riff, Bernardo, and I think Anita were the 4 characters that they were looking for. And I had a buddy of mine I was talking at the time. He says, you should submit for this, because I've played Tony before. There's a local award show here in the Bay Area called the Theater Bay Area Awards. It honestly, it runs kind of it gives an overview of everything that's happening in the theater community here in the Bay Area. And I was nominated for that production, as well as I won a Tony Award that year as a recipient for a production of Jesus Christ Superstar I did that year. So I had a really good experience with West Side Story, and I've had a lot of experiences with West Side Story. It's really close to my heart. So I said, I don't know. I never trust those kinds of things. I don't know if they really work out.
Right.
But he goes, well, what can you lose? What can you lose? And I said, you know what, you're right. But I'm going to, if I'm going to send my information into this casting, agency, I better do it go. So I sent in a bunch of YouTube performances that I have of me singing Maria. I have like a really nice trailer that we had of the production that I did here in the Bay Area. And I sent it all in, and I'm getting out of class 2 weeks after, and I get a message from one of the casting associates that says, "Hey, we got your tape, and we're really interested in it." And I dropped my phone. I dropped my phone on the stairs because, well, yeah, because I you never expect those kinds of things. I mean, I personally have tried before in those kinds of.
Good thing you weren't near the bathroom. I mean,
Right.
the bathtub.
Oh man, right. And I mean, I was starting to cry. Like I was fluttering.
It's incredible, yeah.
And my last semester, I mean, my last semester in Berkeley was really hard to focus on because it involved me and my studies, of course, in the legal field, and focusing about the fact that I sent in a second wave of tapes. Then they started focusing on more, like they started calling me saying, "What are my plans for the next 2 years?" and things like that. And all ended up being that I graduated that June. I think it was 2018. And that 2 weeks later, a week before my graduation, they said, "Mr. Steven Spielberg wants you to fly out to New York for callbacks, final callbacks for the new West Side Story film."
And then you said what?
I said, "What?" And then my professors from graduation goes, "Well, what's your next step? What are you going to do?" I was like, "Well, I have to fly to New York in a couple of weeks to sing for Steven Spielberg." And they said, "Well, that's a good start. That's one there to go with." And and I flew into New York. I was working with some incredible names like playwright Tony Kushner and for that process. And I was in the room with the young incredible talent Rachel Ziegler, was actually cast as Maria in the movie, and is going to be premiering with it. And I'm so excited to see her. I'm so excited to see what she's going to give to the film and her talent. I mean, she's brilliant. And but that, of course, that didn't turn out. But it was really a whole new level for my family to go, "Hey, it's time. I think it's time for you to get to the East Coast," because there was always an idea of when do you get to the East Coast,
right?
When is the right time? And I think after that process, that was it for my family.
That was the time.
That was the one. So there were definitely so, because the reason I tell that story is because you were saying what were fundamental moments
right
in your career growing up and things like that made you feel like you need to be doing, where you need to be going. And those are probably one of the most important fundamental moments of my dream to actually try to get into the East Coast and start working here. And then, of course, I was so fortunate to have Justin Ross Cohen, and Mark Saltzman, the writer of our brilliant little show. So fortunate for them to entrust this role to me, and
that's fantastic.
Be able to work on this project. And the rest is the rest. The rest is history, and we know where we are now.
Yeah,
but
right.
But
you've been a part of a lot of different productions. We have some wonderful photos and things of that nature we're going to show. But did you want to? Well, first, tell us a little bit about the production. A couple of people did ask if and when theaters do restart to reopen, as they figure out their seating, their social distancing, or whatever it is they're going to need to do to adhere to whatever it is that's going to be the new normal or what have you. A little bit about the actual production itself, and then maybe you can share a tune from it for us as well.
You betcha. So, I mean, the concept of how this, how things are going to return is the biggest question mark of things right now. I mean, it is a question that is being pondered by, unions. It's a question that's being pondered by, professional actors everywhere.
Health department, all of it. Yeah.
I've heard talks about the fact that, they're definitely wanting to add a position in Actors Equity that deals with, specifically health, and whether, when you get sick, whether you step out of the show for that week or, they're not going to take any chances or things like that. So it's someone who's going to be really efficient about it and really going to be focusing on dealing with those types of issues. I'm not sure whether that's actually happening or not, but it's one topic that's been taken care of. About the show, the concept is the concept is Shakespearean at that,
Right.
and we all know the story of Romeo and Juliet, but it's a comedy. It's a comedy about this guy. This guy takes out this girl to see a community production of Romeo and Juliet, and he's trying to woo her, and he's trying to trying to impress her. So he starts telling her that there's actually a whole different story to how Romeo and Juliet actually ends. That Romeo doesn't die. He takes a potion that puts him to sleep for 500 years. And he wakes up in 1950s, 1960s Verona. And he meets a girl there named Bernadette, who looks exactly like Juliet and is played by our wonderful Anna Kostakis, who played Bernadette in the show. She's brilliant. And she played Juliet in the beginning, and she plays Bernadette throughout. But she's the daughter of a mafia crime boss, and he follows her back to Manhattan. And the comedy unfolds there as Romeo is this very Shakespearean, as one interviewer all called me. This it looks like this actor graduated from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts because he's the Rada. Because he's got this very Shakespearean persona to himself. Like, where do they get this guy?
Yeah.
And but I had to have a very classic theatrical Shakespearean flair to the character of Romeo. He's still from that time frame, whereas everybody else is very modernized, Brooklyn oriented, characters. And that mesh, that romanticism, that chase, the idea of us joining two different, I become a part of a different mafia gang. She's the daughter of the other mafia gang. So it kind of intertwines again as to the classic story of Romeo and Juliet, but in modern times of Brooklyn, and the comedy unfolds there. It's so brilliantly written by Mark Saltzman, how he connects these dots. And not to mention, on top of that, the beauty that my castmates have brought out to the show, the creativity, the humor that it brought out today. It was so fun to watch every single day. And so that's kind of the premise of where that comes from. I'm traditional Romeo that wakes up in 1950s. Verona, follows Bernadette back to Brooklyn, and the comedy unfolds there. So
there's hope that it'll come. Yeah, you don't want to. But you hope that it'll come back. Is it sort of like in a hold pattern to see, and then
it is in a hold right now? And not a lot of shows are not coming back at the moment.
Right.
But there is a hope that our producer Eric Krebs is hoping that we might potentially come back. I'm not going to say right now that it's definite.
Can it be done online?
I think it could be done online. I really think it could be. Somebody asked me recently, because I posted, there's been a Bernie Sanders meme going on of.
Yes.
But
I tell you. And you know what? Those mittens, he said those mittens were made, I guess a woman has a shop in either Burlington or Rutland, Vermont. And he wore them just because he wanted to be warm, and the jacket, like the aviator jacket he had on, and he just wanted to be warm. The mittens have sold out. And now there's this whole thing that he's doing. He's turning it into a charity that's supposed to help like the food pantries of Vermont and other areas where people are in need. And he's expecting, it's going to raise $1 million. So he's turned the situation with the meme where he's wearing those custom made mittens that the woman in Vermont made that he's wearing, which have sold out, now into a very positive, inspiring thing where they're going to ramp up and mass produce many of them, because everybody wants now, of course, those mittens and that whole look. So they're going to turn it into a charitable situation where the money goes to help people that are hungry and things of that nature. See where something like that just happens to happen. There's a guy on TikTok that sea shanties, very popular now again. And I don't know if it's because President Biden is Irish, maybe, and the Ireland connection, perhaps. But all of a sudden, the sea shanty songs. So there's a guy from Ireland who did a quick sea shanty song. He brought in some other people, and then major people started to get into his TikTok video. He now has a record deal.
Wow.
Doing a sea shanty.
That's incredible.
An Irish sea shanty song, right? That's, you never know, right? You just never know. You just put it out there and you see what happens. I've done that even with this, the Jim Master Show Live. Just turned on the cameras and just started talking to the camera. I didn't even have a guest in the beginning. It was just me talking to the audience, and then boom, 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 boom. You just throw it out there and you see what happens, right?
It's incredible how things work. I have a friend right now who's also in the industry, Josh Logan and Alexander, and he did kind of a sea shanty thing about his favorite soccer player in New England, Michael Keane. I'm not a huge soccer fan.
Yeah.
He did a shanty for that, and that went viral. And now he's going on like British podcasts talking about that. And I was like, good for you, man. That's incredible. On top of that, he just had a new single come out, and he's got an EP coming out thereafter. So I was like, this timing could
100-year-old sea shanties. Who would have thunk it, right?
Who would have thunk it?
So you want to share some of your fabulous vocal talents with us as well, and maybe a song from the production, and then we have some photos, and I know there's some more music you want to share with us as well, which is awesome. So those who love, I know the viewers love when the performer, if their guest happens to be a performer, when they perform live, they love it. So yes, Nikita is going to do that for you folks, for the lovities.
I'm here. Well, this first song is, of course, it's from the show that I did, Off-Broadway, Romeo and Bernadette. And I'm very fortunate that you guys are the first ones outside of the show that are going to hear this song. This is a song that I sing in the show. That's almost at the end of the proceeds, right before the end of the first act. And it's a love ballad about what Bernadette is looking for, which is respect from what any woman, I should say, anywhere is looking for in a man is respect and tenderness and love and kindness and all of those. I mean, but first and foremost, I feel like in this is this respect and love. Exactly. And this song is called "Oh for a Song," and I'm going to set it up here and sing it for you guys right now.
Fantastic. Live and direct. You got it all set up, and this is a real treat to have them hear you. And it's another world premiere exclusive on the Jim Master Show Live. Kind of cool.
That's right. Here we go.
All right.
If my voice were the voice of an angel, if my song were the song of a bird, would you open the ear of your heart? Would you melt at the magic you heard? Oh, for a song that would rise like the dawn on the sea. Oh, for a song that would tenderly sing you to me. I do not have the voice of an angel. I do not know the song of the birds. But I know what I hear in my heart. It's a melody yearning for words. Oh, for a song to do miracles I cannot do. Oh, for a song to awake in the music in you. For a song to embrace us and take us away. You are the song, let the beautiful music play. You are the song, let the beautiful music play. Oh, for a song to embrace us and take us away. You are the song, let the beautiful music play.
Bravo, bravo. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. I love it. I love it. I think some of the dishes and the windows smashed and cracked, which was perfect. Really, really nice, my friends. And I want to show you some of the lovety love coming from our international audience. Piling on here, all of our Gym Masters show loveties always sharing their interactivity, which I love. Airborne 8282 says sensational. She's levitating right now from it. She's definitely airborne from what she just heard. And Christopher Scott. Hey, Christopher Scott is here. Hey, Christopher Scott was a guest on our show. Yeah. Good to see you, Christopher. Beautiful Nikita as well. Good to see you, Christopher. Love it. And hope you're doing well. Renee, that is, Renee Jones Uscombe in Iowa gives you a heart. And Kathleen in New York City, terrific, and claps. And hi, y'all, from Christopher Scott. We had a great time with Christopher.
Chris, you know Christopher Scott.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love him so much. We did a production of Tartuffe, a short production of Tartuffe out of Baruch College in New York City right before the pandemic.
But did you get him to swivel in his chair live on the show?
I did not.
I did. He was like, the laptop, and then he was in a tight spot. His bed was behind him, and he was in a chair that made all these sounds, and it was like moving as he was expressing himself because he's expressive. He said, "You know what? I'm just going to do a swivel," and he did a whole swivel, and then he ended up facing back towards. Behind him was his bed because he was in the bedroom. It was hilarious on that episode. Anybody who wants to see the episode with the wonderful Christopher Scott, it's in our archives of 240 episodes of the Gym Master Show Live. And he says, hi, y'all.
Hi, hey.
Good to see you. Good to see you. We'll have to have him back too. We had a good time with him. Francis says, very nice. And Dawn says, so beautiful.
Thank you,
Kathleen
Dawn.
says, terrific. Merlin in Ontario, Canada says, claps and hearts and bravo. Mary Bishop in Florida. Fantastic, Nikita. Just beautiful. Thank you. Maureen says, oi, such a wonderful singer you are. Juanita, South Africa, where it's very late as well. Fantastic. Claps and hearts and all kinds of emojis. Christine Clifton in North Carolina, USA. Gorgeous voice, so expressive. Mona saying this is beautiful and beautiful voice. Thank you. Renee Katz says, so beautiful. She's a wonderful cabaret singer and performer herself. And Airborne 8282 says, the best voice of his generation, or maybe more generations, Fred Barton.
Fred Barton. I didn't realize that was Fred Barton.
Airborne, yeah, 8282.
Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you.
Now, for the audience, let them know who Fred is.
I am so yes, Frederick Barton. He was my musical director for the production that we just did of 2x2, and right. I mean, he's brilliant musical director. I think composer, but just musician in general. And I hope I pray that I will be able to work with him in person one
That would
day,
be great.
because he's phenomenal, and
I
I
should,
had such a great time working with him.
that's
Over this
fantastic.
project. So
And we
thank
had
you
a
so much.
and we had a bunch of you on the show back in December. Remember when we were talking about 2x2, which was
Right.
terrific. And Kenji, who of course we all know, she's going to be here on the show next Saturday live. Isn't that exciting?
That's right.
She's amazing too.
You guys are in for a treat.
Yeah.
She's as talented as she is gorgeous, and I mean really talented and really she's gorgeous. So
yeah, she's going to be here, and you enjoyed working with her, right? Amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so fun to watch her and what she brought to the table, and you know, with all her experience. I mean, she's Broadway credits and things like that.
Amazing. Right. Right.
She's incredible, and her voice is just
amazing too. Yeah, all of you very talented. I'm excited because she said it's the very first interview and conversation she's having in the new year is our show. So I'm blessed. Fred, maybe we can have Fred on as a guest. We can talk about his career.
Yes,
that would be awesome. I mean, it's all in the family here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Bravo, beautiful. Thank you from Denise. And he also says you do have the voice of an angel. Willie, where it's very late in Holland, she says, "Wow, what a voice!" She's up late. I think it's 3:30 in the morning or something along those lines. And Fred says, "Sure, all right, we'll get Fred on the show."
Yes.
And he goes, "You're welcome, and we will." And Dawn agrees with Fred. Judy Gorman says, Judy. Nikita Fix. So I love it. See you in New York when you are once again on stage where you belong. Love and hugs. Thank you, Judy. All of you watching on our YouTube channel, we would love it if you subscribe to our channel, Jim Masters TV, because we have shows every single day. We do this entertainment lifestyle talk show series 7 days a week, 240 episodes so far. It's unbelievable. And I balance this with my professional work, and that gets a little crazy sometimes. You know how it is, right, Nikita? When it's all happening at once. But you love it, right? You do what you love, and you love what you do.
That's the only reason that it works. Exactly. Right. You said it best just now, Jim. And if you love what you do, it's just going to play. It's going to play itself out.
Exactly.
It's always fascinates me when you're in Tech Week and something doesn't turn out quite right. But all of a sudden, when it gets to opening night, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Jim, but you get to that point where it's opening night and something just clicks.
Yeah.
And to this day, I can never explain it. It's I don't know. There's something special about it.
You mentioned you were performing. I think it was it in the theater? There was across the street where Phantom of the Opera is done.
Mm-hmm.
I had a wonderful opportunity with my years that I still work with public television and all these other shows and stations and everywhere else that I work. But one of the hats I wear is many years with PBS, with public television. And I had the wonderful opportunity to co-host for a national PBS special. Just a couple years ago, it was the 25th anniversary of Phantom of the Opera. And it was for PBS National. It was for great performances. Mm-hmm. And it was under the auspices of WNAT Channel 13 in New York City, who I was, been doing freelance work for and other hosting and other things for. And it was amazing because we actually filmed our segments talking about the 25 years of Phantom of the Opera. Mm-hmm. And it was this great performances special. We were also doing PBS pledge breaks there with interviews. And we did it inside the Majestic Theater, right in between the seats. Mm-hmm. And they lowered the chandelier behind my co-host, Denise Richardson, and I. So, you had the camera pointing down. It was just all of us. And behind us is the stage and the chandelier. It was epic. It was absolutely just the feeling of being in the theater, knowing the history of that production. Right. And this was a great performances celebration of the 25 years of it. Just really, when you have these opportunities and you get a chance to work with great people,
right?
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's incredible. I mean, and to follow up on the beauty of the Majestic, the history of that show.
Yeah.
Last year were a lot of ups and downs for. I mean, last year there were correction. The year before, 2019, where things were still kind of doing okay. And as any actor would in New York at the time that they're starting working as a waiter, and in this case, I was working as a singer waiter at this place called Gale's Broadway Rose. There were a lot of things that happened. Hal Prince passed away. He was directed the original production, of course, and I had a beautiful moment at that moment. I mean, we worked right across the street from the Majestic, and I sang the music of the night at Gale's Broadway Rose. When that moment they dimmed the lights, because there was a moment of there's someone in the community and
paying homage to the one that passed.
Homage to the one that passed, and in this case, of course, the Majestic definitely, and everyone did, but the Majestic definitely had a very good reason to do so. And and I was singing, I sang as a trick. I mean, it's even there right now. I'm getting chills about it. I sang music of the night across the street while looking in the Majestic. Even though I'm not performing in the production of Phantom, not every person will be able to experience something like that in that kind of moment. Someone as great and as talented as Hal Prince was, to be able to give that kind of a tribute, and the people, the customers that were there that moment, they loved it so much. But the tradition with Phantom, I mean, this correlation between us right now and the Phantom of the Opera is still going on. Gale's Broadway Rose, and I want to promote them a little bit right now because they're doing a virtual cabaret series right now with a bunch of, and they have it on their YouTube channel, so you can look up Gale's Broadway Rose. And we are working with a lot of actually Broadway actors right now, doing numbers based on other Broadway shows and things like that involve actors within the Broadway community. And surprisingly, and we're so honored, we're having so many members from the Phantom of the Opera company doing a lot of the numbers with us right now. Like I just did a number a few weeks ago with Ali Edwalt, who is the first Asian American Christine on Broadway, and she's just amazing, and but a lot more to come. So if anybody is interested, check out Gale's Broadway Rose on YouTube, because they're doing a great thing right now. Keeping creativity alive for people, for my at the restaurant who are so hungry with their incredible talents and their voices, and so hungry to perform again, and even to the actors, the Broadway actors right now that are so compassionate, and we're so fortunate to have them be singing these numbers with us. It's nice that this community in any level, is connecting in this time of difficulty. And to connect the beauty of the Majestic, the beauty of their company. And they actually send a message. The Phantom company sent like a little message that my tribute, that they loved it so much. And I was like, oh, well, thank you.
Very nice.
So much. Yeah, we're very fortunate that there were, Majestic is right there, and its history, and there were playing some sort of little part of it in its history.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Exactly. And then Sardi's is close by too. And
Sardi's is right there.
It's another great one. Yeah.
I have to say that 44th between 7th and 6th. No, between 7th and I think 7th and 6th. That place it's got some amazing Sardi's.
Yeah.
Majestic. Helen Hayes is there. Jagged Little Pill is on the same street. I mean, it is.
It's Theater Row for sure.
Theater Row. I mean, that's what I think they call it. The Richard. What they call it? The Richard Rogers. There's a specific name for him, but I forgot it at this moment.
Did you want to
know? Let us know.
Exactly right, Lovities. Did you want to share another song with us?
Yes, and in fact, this song is orchestrated by our dear Fred Barton.
Terrific.
And this is actually from the the show that I just did, 2 by 2, we had a few days where we were able to release the song. We had a lot of difficulties that occurred in terms of people viewing the show and things like that. But nonetheless, anybody who got to see the show, enjoyed the performances.
It
And
happened around, I think it was instead of the Christmas Day or something, it was more towards New Year's, right? I think.
it was
Yeah.
New Year's. I think it premiered New Year's Eve, and then
Yeah.
it ran for the next 4 days.
Yeah.
But they had a little difficulty trying to put it up on YouTube to continue to run for the next 4 days. Nonetheless, a bunch of people still saw it, and they really enjoyed the performances. And but
YouTube is tricky sometimes. YouTube gets tricky with copyright and all those things. They're very, very tricky with it. Yeah.
Right. And but I don't know if any of the Lovity saw that performance, but I figured that since I just did it most recently, and I'm just so honored to be singing the songs that Walter Willison, sang way back when, that I thought I'd share that song again today, in honor of Walter and in honor of Fred and the company that was a part of this 50th anniversary event. So I'm singing Walter's big song, "I Do Not Know a Day I Did Not Love You," which was actually was covered by Tony Bennett, which we were talking about at the very beginning of the show. He has a cover of this song as well, if you want to look it up. And but it's a song that's very dear to my heart now, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Just wanted to show you as well. Usually I always toast our viewers when I start the show, and I usually have sometimes it's like a martini glass or goblet or a mug or something different, right? So we shall toast to the viewers, and we'll toast to our friendship. And I went through the house, and what would be a really cool mug that is something that I have that I got when I was doing a television shoot somewhere that would be perfect for this episode with my special guest, Nikita. Let me look.
Yes. I love it.
And I got it in San Francisco when I was on the TV shoot. So there you go. I left my heart in San Francisco. Cheers, my friend. San Francisco, your hometown.
City by the Bay.
City by the Bay. Perfect choice.
That's a beautiful cup too.
Isn't that cool? It's really nice. It's really heavy, and it's really, really nice. And
it's definitely we have what we call Carl the Fog coming over,
and it goes all the way. So I can. It
goes
all the way around, and it's got sayings on it, and it's really, really cool. It's got little hearts on the. Very, very nice. Yeah, it was one of the shops over by the wharf there. That famous wharf.
Yeah,
Fisherman's Wharf. That was really, really cool, and just nothing fancy. Just some Trader Joe's pink lemonade.
It's the best. It's the best.
Mm-hmm. So, toast in our San Francisco mug to you, Nikita, as you grace us with your vocal prowess once again.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one.
It's fun when you're doing it and you're producing at the same time, right? Directing yourself and doing the music yourself.
It's different.
It's a whole new world.
But it's a whole new world. I'm trying. You're gonna hear Fred actually in the very beginning, but because he counts you in, but it really helps for this song. So here we go, guys. This is "I Do Not Know a Day I Did Not Love You."
You got it.
1 and 2 and clap.
I do not know a day I did not love you. I can't remember love not being there. The planting when the earth ran through your fingers. The harvest when the sun danced in your hair. I do not know a day I did not need you, for sharing every moment that I spent. I needed you before I ever knew you. Before I knew what needing someone meant. And if we ever were to have tomorrow, one fact alone is full and filled with song. You will not know what day I do not love you, the way that I have loved you all along. And if we ever were to have tomorrow, one fact alone is full and filled with song. You will not know what day I do not love you, the way that I have loved you all along.
Just letting them soak that in a little bit. Bernadette says, that voice and that sweet smile from Bernadette. Very, very beautiful song. Great job, Nikita. Great voice from Karen in Nova Scotia. Maureen says, you put such feeling into your songs, I get goosebumps.
Thank you.
Grab a blanket.
Right.
Warm up. Have a hot cocoa. Another beautiful song and voice. Mona says that as well. And Mona's in Louisiana. Linda in Florida, awesome voice. And Sherry says so beautiful. And Mary Bishop in Florida as well. Beautiful Nikita. And Denise says, you are a gifted talent. Thank you. Kathleen in New York City says, bravo. Juanita in South Africa, beautiful. Kathy Short in Cleveland, Ohio, where it's snowing, she said, beautiful voice. So you're warming her up with the voice, which is
Stay
wonderful.
warm, Kathy.
Stay warm, Kathy. Renee in Iowa, beautiful. And Dawn, claps and hearts. And she's watching on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. And Dawn says, and he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Shucks. That's all we, well, Dawn, that's all we allow on the show. They have to be nice. They have to be friendly and nice. They don't have to be a super talent, but they have to be nice, because
nice requirement.
Right. It's very important, because they have to meet not only our standards here on the show, but also, you know, the levity standards that we've got. And also they have to pass the test of Mr. George Burns himself. He has to like our guest. And George is loving our guest tonight. So, right, George? Yes, I love Nikita. So there you go. You passed the George Burns test. No.
I passed the George Burns test.
I tell you. And Christopher Hewitt says, wonderful to hear you sing again, Nikita. Also, the hair looks great. Hey, you got another vote in the long hair column. And don't forget, Chris, if you're going to, do your hair long, shampoo, condition, let it dry on its own, and then wait 2 days, and man, you're gonna knock them dead.
That's a technique.
Yeah, Nikita and I gave those tips earlier in the show, so you can go back and rewatch this episode if you're having any hair trouble, long hair. Free advice as well on this show.
I had a classmate back in Berkeley who met me because I was playing Jesus. I actually grew out facial hair, and back then I was, I want to say 22. And I looked like I was 27, 28 at least, because I was just, covered.
Right.
And that's how he met me. And when I finished the production of Jesus Christ Superstar, and then the next show I had to do was Urinetown, I needed to trim everything off. I mean, this had to go. It was so sad because it was a year and a half of growing this out. And there's a certain sense of sadness when you have to cut your hair. Like 'cause that's when I had, ladies, I feel you when you have to cut your hair, because it is scary. I know every girl or young woman I've ever met, period, has been scared of cutting their hair.
Doing the cut.
And I did not learn why until I grew out my own hair.
Yeah, well, even the guys too that have really, really long hair.
Yeah.
I mean, when they first have to get it cut for whatever reason, they can. It could be a real traumatic situation. Well, another tip that I learned, I actually, because again, if I take the hat off, the hair is long, because I haven't had it cut since March. And even the salon called and said, "Jim, do you still love us? Are you coming back?" I said, "Sure, I'm coming back. I'm just letting it grow for now, and we're just having fun with it." So I did have a television shoot that I had to do in the studio. One was at PBS, and it was in December for Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Christmas special, and we were co-hosting segments for that. So they actually liked the hair longer, and I had a sport coat. I think I had a turtleneck or something, or a dress shirt with a sport coat. So they loved it. They said it was great. But I had to do a news program shoot, television news thing. So that's where, the hair has to be a little bit more coiffed for that. So what I did was I said, "Gee, how am I going to do this?" Because I still don't want to cut it yet. I want to see if I can make it 1 year till March. So what can I do? So what I did was, before I arrived at the studio, I took the hair, I pulled it back with a rubber band. I rubber band it to hold it, pull it back and hold it. And then the other part that was coming down, the hair that was coming down here, I tucked it in the back of the turtleneck. I had a sport coat with a turtleneck. So I had, the hair was actually perfect. And everybody, I actually told them on the show, they're like, "Oh, we love that tip. What a great tip." So I tucked it in the turtleneck, pulled the turtleneck up, and it hid that hair. So it looked like all of a sudden I had a haircut and it was short. Now I had to make sure, there was something where I was looking straight at camera. So, and it was a script that I wrote, and it was teleprompter. So I didn't have to do a lot of turning, and there wasn't movement a lot. It was just doing an introduction and a close to a news segment. So I was able to pull it off because I didn't have to do a lot of, because if I did some weird, wacky, fast turn, maybe boing, it would pop out of the turtleneck. But the turtleneck kept the hair in. And then when everything was over, and I just lowered the turtleneck, it all came back. And I was like, It's
you're like Batman with no neck. You had to turn your body.
I had to stay straight like this. "Hi, I'm Jim Masters." Right, exactly. and they're all calling it the turtleneck trick. I love that turtleneck trick. So you take the long hair and you just pull it, tuck it in the back of the turtleneck, raise the turtleneck up a little, and you're good.
I remember last time I was on with you, and I had like a black turtleneck with
you did.
I had the candy cane.
Laser. Yes.
Well, I've really started wearing turtlenecks since then, and it really contains.
It will hold it in place. Yeah.
It's really nice. And now that you said that,
Karen in Nova Scotia says, "Love when Jim tells his hair and the turtleneck story." Linda says, "I finally got my hair cut, but growing it for a year now, I look like a human instead of cousin it." Well, yeah, I bet. Have you done that? I've done that, where I pull all the hair forward and your face disappears.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of cool.
there's this episode in The Office that I always do now because I have enough hair. It's where Ellie Kemper, who plays one of their secretary in the show, she was from a foster home, and she hears some really bad news, and she takes her hair and she puts it in front of her eyes. She goes, "Mm." And whenever I hear bad news, someone tells me, it's like, "What's wrong?" And I go, she says, when I was in the foster home, my hair was my room. And she puts her hair in front of her eyes. So that's how she contains herself. I can't stop using that joke to this day. It's so funny.
That is funny.
That's where it started. I would take all of my hair and I put it up in the front, and then I remember that joke, and to this day I was like, oh yeah, my hair was my room.
That's what it is. I mean, it's like, exactly. You can sort of like hide in it if you have to.
Right.
Well, yeah, and they love it. And these comments that are coming in are really, really funny. So this is why you're wearing turtlenecks. No, I actually love turtlenecks. I love sweaters, cardigans, turtlenecks. I'm a sweater guy. I would wear it either way. I wear it with short, I wear it with long. Juanita says, we have high standards for niceness on our show. Absolutely. And Linda says, Nikita, do you feel the lovety love yet?
Oh, I feel the lovety. Oh my goodness. You guys are incredible.
This is funny, Nikita. And that's funny. Yes, that's right. Sherry said it calls it the turtleneck tutorial.
Turtleneck tutorial.
Yeah, the Gym Masters turtleneck tutorial. We actually have some cool photos here that we can talk about. Again, we show, if you joined us late, here's Nikita here. That was a really, really.
I want to rock.
That was a cool shot. Here's another cool one.
Oh man, that goes way back. I don't know, but I don't know about this day. Maybe it was our hair technique that we've been talking about, Jim. But
yeah,
this day the hair was on point.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
It worked.
The hair was on point. And the photographer Casey Peak, props to him for this photo shoot. I mean, he really got it done right.
Yeah.
This is 2012, I believe.
Is it? Yeah.
My
what
goodness.
are you thinking there? You know who you almost look like a little bit there? A little bit. Maybe like you could be a relative of. A little bit like Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas?
In that shot. I wonder if anybody else sees that. Yeah, Nick Jonas.
I have been between Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
I've been between James Franco.
Yeah.
But like younger James Franco, like early Spider-Man days.
And isn't he he's from the San Francisco area?
From Palo Alto.
Yes, right.
I've always made the joke that I want to knock on their parents' front door and just go, Mom, Dad, I'm home. Your long lost fourth Franco son.
And they'll say, okay, take the garbage out and wash the car
try.
and walk the dog. Here's another cool shot.
Oh, that's from Newsies.
Yeah.
That was from a beautiful theater out here in the Bay Area, out in the Oakland Hills, called Woodminster Amphitheater. And it's for a company called Woodminster Summer Musicals, which is run by Harriet Schlater. Mm-hmm. Her husband used to work on Broadway. He unfortunately passed away, a while ago. But he had incredible Broadway experience. And him and Harriet, I'm so sorry, but his name is slipping my my memory right now. But he really started this. Him and Harriet really started this company, and it's a 3,000 seater amphitheater. So it has a very St. Louis Muni feel, of course, much smaller, but it has a beautiful kind of outdoor amphitheater feel. And it really has grown. It's got its own community of theater goers and theater lovers there. And they put on a season every year. They're a union theater as well, which is amazing. And it's really is a pleasure to work up there. You really get a very unique experience up there, because when you have the fog coming in on a summer's night, honestly, that Mark Twain quote, the coldest winter I spent was a summer in San Francisco. It really applies to doing a show up in Woodminster, because it's mid-July and you're going to be freezing at 10 p.m. up there, up in the mountains, because it's cold. It is cold.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get a new pair of dance shoes, you're gonna get it for that one summer because
Yeah.
that's how long they're gonna last you. That stage is hot.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of those summers, but this was one of the last shows I did. there.
Allison says your pictures are hot.
Oh, well,
And
thank you, Allison.
Rini says, how long is your hair, Jim? If I take the hat off, Rini, it goes to
Take it off.
it goes to the shoulders. It goes to the shoulders. Just maybe a tip. Yours is almost at the shoulder, right?
It's
Yeah,
getting
the
there. I
back.
mean, I don't.
Yeah, the back.
If I
Yeah,
really like start to stretch it up, it's getting down to my
it to the shoulders. Yeah,
down to the shoulders. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It is cool sometimes, it just. But I find again because the hair is probably the longest I've ever had it now. I mean, I've never had it like all the way down to the shoulders, but. Do you find, I don't know, maybe because you're lucky because it's kind of wavy or whatever, but mine, when I'm sleeping, laying down, it's in my face and I'm constantly like brushing it off, and I'm not used to doing that. I've changed my hair a million times I'm like you do. I change my hair based on whatever the project is I'm working on, the production I'm working on. If it's a television show or something where I need to change the look, sometimes it's, you've had to change color, you've had to change size, all of it. And it's been 50 different. I go into the salon. She goes, "What are we going to do now?" Unfortunately, my hair will do whatever it needs to do, which is great. So now that it's longer, when I'm laying in the bed, I'm like, and then sometimes like if in the morning, it's like big and it's long and it's going in your face. And I'm like,
right in your face.
Come on, I'm just trying to make a tea. You're just like brushing it away. Then I put like a baseball cap on, or I'll put a ski cap on and wear it in the house just so it doesn't get in the way. Just to.
I agree. I feel your pain. That's exactly what happens to me. I wake up in the morning. All I want to do is get myself a good cup of coffee, get out of my eyes. And sometimes I feel like it's bushy, so it really feels like there's a jungle happening, in your face. But my fiance's bought me a whole, just a bundle of hair ties. So
Juanita says we should get hair nets for bed. I guess so. Yeah. Karen is dying here. She's loving it so much. You do learn a lot on the Jim Master Show Live. Like I said, this is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series. So you learn so much. Lisa says, "Newsies, so much fun. Love your curls, Nikita."
Lisa, I love you. Lisa was our costumer for that production of Newsies, and she does a lot of costuming for Woodminster. So we love Lisa so much. She's incredible.
Karen is in Nova Scotia saying, "Oh my God, I love the hair talk between you guys. You two are just too cute." Thank you very much. Christine Clifton says, "Love that. My hair is my room. Hide with it. You are so very talented, Nikita, and funny." Maureen goes, "Take it off. Take it off."
Take it off.
But what show are we talking about? That's the after midnight. That's the after midnight, and we would have to charge a cover charge if you want us to take it off. What are we going? Colonial Day, Colonial Day nightcaps from Anne. Rini says, "Wow, that is cool. Nice to be able to wear different styles. My hair will be extremely long in a few months. We'll cut it then after." Your hat. Of course we know what you mean, Maureen. Of course we do. You didn't mean the turtleneck, right? Love this. Now that's funny. She sees the Jonas in the picture. Absolutely. And that is funny. Here's another cool shot. Tell us about this one, my friend.
Oh, yes. So that is actually between the phase of between I was telling you that production of Dogfight that I did where I was completely buzz cut. And when I got to Jesus Christ Superstar, this was a year before Jesus Christ Superstar, and I did a production of Pirates of Penzance. So here I'm playing Frederick. And it's as you can see, it's starting to grow back in.
Yeah.
I wish I had the curls and the coif and the waves for Frederick at this stage of the game, but you can only grow it so fast.
Yeah, right.
But this was another. I mean, I had so much fun with the show. I mean, this is another classic. I've never done Gilbert and Sullivan before ever in my life. There's a lot of brilliant work that to this day, and it shocks me that to this day people adore Gilbert and Sullivan work. it rings as funny to this as today as it did 100 years ago, and that fascinates me extremely. And of course, beautiful comedy work, and it helps that it helps that it's comedy. But I've never seen anything. I think I've seen The Mikado once. I've never seen any of their other work. But I really want to expand more on learning about Gilbert and Sullivan work. I watched the Kevin Kline production, the ones that they did on Broadway. Just that's what I really grew my love. I enjoyed performances from Kevin Kline before, but my love for Kevin Kline really grew after that performance of him as the Pirate King, as just brilliant work.
Yeah, absolutely
brilliant work. And honestly, my work that I put in for Romeo and Bernadette, it was very much inspired a lot in terms of energy levels and comedy based on the work that Kevin Kline puts in as the Pirate King in that production. It has that feel, that has the traditional feel of the times, but the comedy level, that is just brilliant. Just brilliant.
Kind of like what we're delivering to the Lovedies tonight, right? They're all saying that's it.
Frederick, a young Frederick.
That's it. Roll those R's. Roll those R's.
Right.
Oh, they're writing the tips down. They're writing all the tips down, I'm sure. We've got another
Pirate King.
Yeah, exactly. We have another cool shot here. Tell us about this one, Nikita.
That's it. That's, I mean, if anybody knows the classic West Side Story shot, that is West Side Story right there. And this is me in the middle of Something's Coming, and this was a jungle gym of a set for me. I loved working on the set. I had a couple of incredible stories of this production. If anybody knows the story of West Side Story, there's that scene between Riff and Tony where Riff is telling him, like, why not? Why won't you go, dance at the gym? Why? And I convinced him that I'm done with that. I'm done with that life. And I'm painting the sign that he paints. What's if anybody recalls whatever it's called, but painting the sign that he's painting, and he said, I have the paintbrush in my hand, and I stick it in his face, and it slips out of my hand, and it starts crackling down the metal, because we were on the second floor of the scaffold, and it starts crackling down to the first floor, up down to the stage of the scaffold, as I'm like, oh, big whoop, and I drop it, and all we hear is this silence. No one says another line of click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, as we just look down on the ground and we look back up at each other, me and my buddy Zach Padlow, and we keep going with the next line. It was one of those moments. It's one of those things that you're doing live theater, you're always going to remember those stories. And it was part of that set right there. But oh man, did I have such a fun time, especially that song, Something's Coming. It's that I want song in the show. He's longing for it, that I feel, something's coming in store, jumping all over the place, that, young youthful energy is.
That's funny. Christine says, terrific West Side Story photo. All these photos and stories behind them are great. Love it. And
that production, fun fact about that as well. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's great. That's it. We love fun facts here too.
In that time, because, I've been before, 3 years ago, I've been in the Bay Area my whole life doing theater there, and we're growing out of course. But during that time that we did that production that year, there were 6 productions of West Side Story happening in the Bay Area alone. And that gained the attention of the Sondheim Review. And we actually made the cover at some point of the Sondheim Review out of the 6 productions. And we were just like, whoa, we're in the cover of the Sondheim Review. And I think it was the issue was 2015. It was an issue of Sondheim Review back in 2015. So we were very honored to be able to make the cover of the Sondheim Review that year, because
that's amazing.
It was fascinating. 6 different productions happening, not just like within the year, but at the same time. Fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. That's incredible. Here's another shot.
Oh, that's the classic. So this is one of my scenes in the middle of Romeo and Bernadette. This is a trio that we do in the show, and these are my two wonderfully talented co-stars. All the way on the left is Michael Notardonado, who plays Dino Del Canto in the show, and he is like your Danny Zuko kind of slick. He's brilliant, and I mean, he's just, first of all, he's a stunning young guy, gorgeous guy, and he's got this slick Danny Zuko thing going on. And in the middle is a wonderful Michael Murata. We got two Michaels in the show, and they actually are father and son in the show. And we sing this song called "A World Away," and to anybody who's Italian American, this rocked their socks off, this number, because so many references to different, Italian classics. There was a moment where I sing Santa Lucia. Michael goes volare. It was people were just laughing through the roof for this number, but Michael did also Michael Murata, the gentleman in the middle, did also oh my gosh, tongue twister. Also mio.
Sole Mio, yeah.
Sole Mio.
Sole Mio.
It's all intertwined. And the show, I want to tell you, is it's in some ways this jukebox musical, and it deals a lot with opera songs. Yeah. From classic operas from the 1800s, 1900s. So it deals a lot with classic. I mean, there's a song in the show that it's based on Pavarotti's La Marchiare. There's my O for a Song is based on a song. It's slipping my head right now, but it's based off another opera. So every song is based off of another very old traditional operatic song, and this song is actually also based off of another piece. So
another piece, as well.
It was brilliantly done. Our orchestrator was Steve Orich, who was I do not want to mix this up, but I believe won the Tony Award. No, it was the Tony nominee. I'm so sorry, Steve. I love you so much, but it's one or the other. For
Tony was involved.
The Tony was involved for orchestrating the Broadway production of Jersey Boys. So if you guys know the soundtrack of Jersey Boys, that is work right there.
We had Michael Longoria, who was in Jersey Boys as a guest on our show, and J. Robert Spencer, who was also in Jersey Boys. He was on the show as well. Both fantastic artists. Absolutely. Here's another cool shot. Next to Normal.
Oh yeah, that takes me a little back to that is Next to Normal. Yeah, I played Henry, and that was I really wanted to play again. My obsession with Aaron Tveit was very huge at the time. Tony nominee at the moment, Aaron Tveit, and I really wanted to play Gabe because 2008 was Next to Normal was the talk of the town. Tom Kidd, Jennifer Damiano played Natalie, and Alice Ripley played the Tony Award winner. Alice Ripley played Diana. It was probably the show of that year. Of course, this show I believe was 2013, but that's when the rights started coming out regionally for this stuff. And I really wanted to play Gabe at the time, but they gave me Henry, and I really grew a fondness for the character of Henry. And how much he does for the story, and his compassion for his love interest in the show. It's a great score. It's a great show. But my story with this is actually I really had difficulty learning how to use a bong. And because I've never because I'm it's part of the nice level. I've never taken.
Wait a minute, you're in San Francisco?
Yeah, what's wrong with me, right? And my director, I'll never forget this. My director goes one night. She goes, Susan. She goes, Nikita, I'm going to let you go home early tonight. And what I'm going to let you do is I'm going to give you a homework assignment. You're going to go home, and you're going to watch Pineapple Express. And your homework assignment is to watch James Franco or Seth Rogen, whichever one of them is, and learn
Or Cheech and Chong.
Your Cheech and Chong will probably been I think she would have outdated herself at the time.
Yeah.
But I honestly learned who Cheech and Chong was last year. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm learning every day.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Is last year, but they recommended me to go home and watch Pineapple Express, and I did, and we learned a lot. We learned a lot that.
Yeah. So you did you perfect the method or
perfected the technique? And I used sage the entire show, but I actually had some sort of an allergic reaction that occurred from it.
To the sage, really?
Yeah, to the sage. I started having this kind of skin reaction happening on my neck. And after the show ended, after a while, a few weeks passed, it started to go away. But I had a kind of an allergic reaction to the sage I was using for that production. So another fun fact.
Maybe some parsley or thyme would have been better. Parsley, sage, and thyme.
Or classic dill that Russians really love. People always.
The dill, exactly.
You're eating some Russian delicacy. Is there dill in it? Are you using sour cream? It's all part of the.
You're in.
You're in.
That's it.
Part of the glow.
Here's another cool shot.
Oh my gosh, Jessica Coker! I hope you're watching this because look at you.
We did our research, Nikita.
This is probably one of the most out in the Bay Area. Probably one of the most. It's the smallest cast-wise productions I've ever done, but probably one of the most talent. I mean, there's a lot of talent in the Bay, but overall, the talent in this cast was just incredible. This is the production of Urinetown that I did out in Berkeley. My second year in UC Berkeley, but it was really close. There's a house. There's a awesome regional theater nearby called Berkeley Playhouse, which is different from Berkeley Repertory Theater, which I'll be working in on this upcoming December. But Berkeley Playhouse does some amazing work, and this is probably one of the coolest shows that they've ever done. I'm not tooting my own horn. I really think, from what people have told me, reactions from fans and people who came to see the show, this is probably one of the most amazing productions they've ever seen at Berkeley Playhouse. So I played Bobby Strong in this production. I've always wanted to play Bobby Strong. I did a production of Urinetown in my junior year of high school, but I played Hot Blades Harry there, which is another amazing role. He gets to sing that song "Snuff That Girl." That really kicks in the dance as well.
Yeah,
but I really got to sing songs like "Run Freedom Run" and "Look at the Sky." I mean, those are classics. I've always loved watching Hunter Foster sing that song. Watch that perform that song on the Tonys. So
look at her expression; it's classic.
Jessica Coker is a local legend here in the Bay Area. Her voice is just incredible. It's a powerhouse, and she and 3 other members here in the Bay Area. Actresses here in the Bay Area, they just did a really cool streaming production for a company called Ray of Light out in San Francisco of a production called Lizzie. It's based on Lizzie Borden.
Oh yeah,
the Axe story.
40 Wax, and
that's right, 40 Wax. And those 4 ladies are incredible, and she was just a part of that as well. And Tony winner James Monroe Iglehart, who played the genie in the Broadway production of Aladdin, was their host for that, and they knocked it out of the park. So little just promoting my other talented friends.
Absolutely, that's right. It's all in the family. It's all in the family. Absolutely, yeah.
I'm really fortunate to have such great memories, some great shots.
Bernadette says great photos, and Maureen is saying, "Toot that horn, Nikita. You deserve it. What an incredible career you've had so far. May your success continue for many years to come." As well. Here's another great shot we have here.
That's Benny South Street from Guys and Dolls. I loved that lemon lime kind of. It's just more of like a lemon suit that they gave me. It was
and the tie and the shirt.
But this is actually also in the same theater. I mean, there's 3 different theaters at the Leisure Center for the Arts in Walnut Creek here in the Bay Area. But this is the biggest one that they have, and we did the production of so Rock of Ages happened in the middle theater, the middle there. I don't remember what the name of the theater is called at the moment, but the biggest one here, I think it's called the Hoffman. is where we did this. And honestly, Kika Alvaro, who's our director and choreographer for this production, he was brilliant in the sense of he really wanted the production to look like it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
And Funyunland was the first number of, that rush of traffic, New York, the New York hustling and bustling, was just brilliant choreography and placement for this production. He knocked it out of the park, and I loved. I was still like a youngin'. I was way too young to play Sky Masterson or anybody, and Nathan Detroit back then. I'm hoping to really knock that role out sometime in the future, 10 years from now or so. But Benny Southstreet was just a hoot. And my buddy Nick Quintel, who played Nicely Johnson in this production with me, we did Guys and Dolls, the number together. And oh boy, was that a riot.
You enjoyed that.
We enjoyed that so much. This is the top of my list of shows that I've ever done. This is Catch Me If You Can, the musical. And it was right on this. It was my first union EMC production I've ever done. So I was starting to build my career towards getting my union card and for the Actors Equity Association. But I played Frank Abagnale Jr. I'm like 19 here. And it was incredible. Like I think the writers, family members of the writers came to see the show. It was essentially, I mean, I had to, the show is written in a way that your narrator, your performer, you're kind of running the show. And it was probably one of the most challenging shows I have ever taken upon in terms of how much you really have to deliver with the show and how much of a monster it is as a performer to do this show. And of course, this is the show where I met my dear fiance and my future wife, Elizabeth Peterson. She was, this is the one show that we have done together so far. I hope that we'll be able to do some more together in the future. But callbacks were so funny because everyone was saying, oh, the Rockette is here. The Rockette is here. And I go, Rockette? What are we talking about? I actually didn't know what the Rockettes were back then. So I go, first of all, for starters, what's a Rockette? And second of all, I don't have time for this. I have to get this role.
Well, sometimes also a Rockette is somebody that you present a rock to. Now you see, Rockette, a rock that goes on the finger. That's a double Rockette.
She just was one of the sweetest human beings you will ever meet, and she's so hardworking. All the difficulties that you have to be put through as a dancer, and the hectic
the physicality of what the Rockettes do. I mean, they're legendary. Absolutely, yeah.
I've had the pleasure and experience of watching her rehearse from home as she's going ta 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 with her precision dance moves.
Have you danced together in anything?
We haven't danced like have we done specifically to do dance specifically. We have not danced together. I mean, in terms of caliber of dance, there's nothing that compares. She is.
You'll sit and watch. Yeah.
If she's going to stand up and dance, I'm going to sit down immediately.
I'll sit and take the photos.
But she's the tallest gal. She's 5'9.5", and so in the line she is smack dab down the middle, so you can't miss her. In the middle of the company.
Is she from the States? From here?
She is from the States. Yes, she's here from El Sobrante, California, born and raised. And she worked in Disneyland for a little while, and then this was around. We were so close together, but we always missed each other. Who thought about? And she went off to do. She worked at Disneyland for about 4 months, and after that, she went to audition for the touring company that they had in Nashville. And she auditioned for that. She got into that. She did that for about 3 years, and then the touring company had to close down. And everybody who was in the touring company had a chance to audition for the New York for the Radio City production. And she went in for the very first time, and she was like, "There's no chance because they have dance captains. They would rather they take them first and things like that." But from her very first try auditioning for the New York lineup, and she booked it from the very first time. It's absolutely incredible. She's a talent. She's a talent. And
That's amazing. Yeah. Huh?
I to every single day, I wonder how in the world was I so blessed with such an
So
incredible woman like herself.
yeah, I would imagine when she did book that and then she came over to tell you, you did this again.
You
Yay,
betcha.
you booked it.
Well, back then she just said she texted. I think we didn't text back then, but somehow she said congratulations. And back then I was so nervous about talking to her because she was already kind of a big, she was a big deal in this theater. There's a bunch of New York actors that they hire and bring because they take a lot of union contracts that they bring to the productions up at Woodminster. And she just turned equity at that moment, so she was considered like a union actor. And everybody, I think out of the whole cast, she was the star in that production because she was the Rockettes,
Yeah.
And I was by that point where I learned what the Rockettes were, I was so nervous talking to her. But we developed our friendship and we developed our relationship from that point on. And I did the production summer 2014, but we didn't go on our first date until March of 2015. So I was very patient.
Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, going on the 6th year now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. That's
and
right.
Continued congratulations. Here's another cool shot, Nikita.
Oh my gosh. Now this is my very first union contract, my Actors Equity contract. This is my dear friend and beautiful talent here in the Bay Area, Amy Shapiro. And I'm playing the character of Jean Gorman in that show that I was telling you earlier called Saturday Night, which is a Stephen Sondheim musical. And I loved this costume. My costumer for the show, Bethany Deal, she went above and beyond creating this kind of 1930s Dapper Dan. I think it's takes place in the 1930s, 1940s. Kind of Dapper Dan slick back look. It's almost kind of like a Great Gatsby, Leo DiCaprio feel, and she went above and beyond with my costume with this thing. And the concept of the story is kind of simple. He's a young man. He's living out in Brooklyn, and he really wants to live the high life, the elite life, the glory life, and he's trying to do everything he can to try to join that elite life. And he meets this girl who is also kind of doing the same thing, but she doesn't have the same ideals and she doesn't want the same structure of like the want to feel. She's doing it, for the fun of it. And Ryan, I feel like my director for this production, I feel like you're going to butcher me because I'm messing up with the plot. But bottom line is, in the end, is they realize that that's not the be all and the end all, and they belong to each other, and life is more than that. Life is more about living in an elite. But this scene is a very, honestly, it's a comedic scene, but you can also see a comedically dramatic scene in the sense where I want to commit suicide, and I'm super drunk in this scene.
Yeah.
And we're watching one of my other friends, Catherine Cooper, in the show, giving a performance on the other side of the stage, and I talk about how I'm, this is never going to work out, and I want to kill myself. And this the beautiful work by photographer Ben Krantz for this production was just stunning. And here we are back again. Pulitzer and Hearst, they think we're nothing. Are we nothing? No. This is the big world will know number in Newsies. I was just channeling my inner Jeremy Jordan, Tony nominee Jeremy Jordan in this production. Honestly, this was one to scratch off the bucket list. I had so much fun playing this role, and it was nice to connect with this cast, and because I work so much with the ensemble. There's certain shows where you work where you're so isolated from the talent, the blood, sweat, and tears that the rest of the majority of the talent puts in a show. And
right
here, Jack Kelly really has to be intertwined with the rest of the dancers, and they were amazing. They were just amazing, and we really bonded. And so proud to be a part of this production.
Yeah. Isn't that fantastic? I mean, when you get a chance to experience all these different experiences with all these great people along the way. I mean, here, look at this one.
This is 42nd Street Moon, and actually to backtrack real quick to that other photo on opening night. I've never told this to anybody, but opening night of Romeo and Bernadette. Apparently, the director of Newsies, of the Broadway production of Newsies, came to see our show, and he sent me an email, and he said, I never have I seen someone, and I hope that I'll be able to share this, because I'm really fortunate that I'll be able to share this, but I never have I seen someone rise so quickly, he told me. And he says, I can't wait to see the rest of your meteoric rise. And I sat down in a taxi to drive back home after the show ended, and I was just in goosebumps. And he says to me after that, P.S. I wish I would have seen your productions of Newsies, this production. So it was kind of a dream come true to be able to, get these kinds of messages from people.
Feedback like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, this is the great 42nd Street, the musical.
Yeah.
This is where my tap dancing really had, obviously when you're playing a character like Billy, the tap dancing really comes in handy. And I really grew so much as a tap dancer with this production. The blood, sweat, literally sweat and tears,
the physicality, everything.
That goes into doing a show like this, where you have to be a triple threat. It's just, it's grueling. It's hard. You're gonna go home wishing you didn't do this sometimes, but it's the group that you work with, the talented people that you work with, and really the dedication to the craft and to putting that show up, that things go, will go up and work. And in the end of the, this was one of those productions that at opening night, you were like, wow, I don't know how it worked.
Yeah.
We did it.
But you did it. Yeah.
There's that same scene in the production of Saturday Night where I want to commit suicide, and she doesn't think I'm serious, but I really am. And it turns out it's just a water gun. And, it's a comedy unfold. Where I'm just like, I'm in the lowest point. There's Romeo and Bernadette again. And my good co-star and dear friend, Michael Natardinato, teaching me how to be modern and get a little more suave and slick, as opposed to my Shakespearean romanticism that I always portray in this show.
And you learn the lesson, or
oh yeah, you try, but you realize that it's not something that the ladies want. Ladies want kind, genuine, respectable, and
you're here for that, right, Nikita? Here. That's right. Here for that. Kind, respectable. We love it.
Respectable. And but there's Catch Me If You Can again with my and if you guys know the movie, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio is in it with Tom Hanks, and my dear friend Katie Pogue on the left there. Of course, she has a different last name right now because she got married. So I apologize, Katie, if you're watching this. What your current last name is, but this is like, once again, this is probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in musical theater, and but to this day, I am so fortunate that I was able to do this specific production. So fortunate. And there's Jesus.
I told you Jesus was a guest star on the show tonight.
Just minus the beard.
Just minus the beard. But the hair's long there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The hair was long there, just as it is right now. And
what was it like, being in that role?
It was, well, I've experienced Jesus Christ Superstar twice, because I've done a production of it also in the Bay Area where I played Judas, and then I had the opportunity to do this production where I played Jesus. Personally, I think Judas is a meteor character. There's so much at stake for him, and so much light and darkness, and his conflict that he has in the show. But Jesus is light. Jesus is light, and
Jesus is Jesus. Yeah,
Jesus is Jesus, and but to make Jesus, and everybody interprets this in so many different ways, of course. But Jesus, when he was in his physical, in his physical self and his physical form, was human, even as what is the word that I'm looking for? Even as majestic and as superior as he was, and as he was as a teacher. I wanted to portray the fact that at this very moment in his life, he was also very human.
Yeah.
That that even though he was who he was, he shared the same emotions. He shared the same fears. He shared the same love, sadness for anybody who wasn't, who was trailing from the right
follower, right?
Follower, yeah,
right.
And it worked out. It worked out beautifully. And then my friend Cheyenne Wells there is in the production with me. She played Mary. Mary. Mary and she's been killing it down in Southern California. She just did a really cool production of Little Shop of Horrors at the Old Globe Theater, I believe, out down in San Diego. So, but I might be mistaken about the theater, but I think it's the Old Globe. And but she's incredible talent, and that production was really, really fun to put up. Okay. This is you kind of like when you look at a photo, you kind of feel what show you're looking at. You know what I mean? With these kind of coats and the schoolboy 1800s kind of look, you would think Les Miserables.
Sure.
Secret Garden. But this is Les Miserables. This is when I played Marius. And I was really just knocking this really like dream roles that I had.
Yeah.
One by one, and just so fortunate to be able to do these productions. Of course, this production ended up being 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours, because we used the set that involved scaffolding. So it was kind of like it was a Les Miserables production that looked like it was a Rent production.
Yeah.
But you're doing Rent in Les Mis time.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But the scaffolding was really tough to move. The cast members would do it. Some of the cast members were doing the back, the stage crew would help. But because of that, we had to vamp a lot of music. And it ended up being that the Les Mis in and of itself is already such a long production. But it ended up being 3.5 hours. So
that's a long
show, but I had so much fun, playing that role. And Les Mis, there we are again, Guys and Dolls. And my buddy, I was mentioning earlier, my friend Nick Quintel, beautiful tenor voice, beautiful comedic timing he has, was my Nicely Johnson in this production. And there's a video of this number somewhere. Someone has it. I wish I had it. But we had so much fun doing this number. And oh man, this is Rock of Ages again. Look at that.
Now,
wig.
Is that the real hair, or is that
if only, Jim? If only. That is
extensions.
That is extensions, but that is a wig. They clipped me.
The wig. Yeah.
They clipped it, and they and it's where they had to keep. The wig was starting to like get out of control, so they had to like clip it a little bit here and there. And as the run progressed, they had to like keep getting it, clipping it, and it just kept getting shorter and shorter. And I was like, the run's almost over. We're gonna last. And but that's my buddy, that's my friend, Will Springhorn, who actually just recently got married. Congrats, Will and Katie. And he played Dennis Dupree, who owns the bar in that show. This guy and his comedy timing is
amazing.
Amazing. Just amazing.
It's a cool shot.
Yes. This is probably one of my well, one of my for starters, one of my dearest friends that I am leaning down. But if the ingenue,
Were you singing "You Raise Me Up"?
I'm singing. I sometimes I definitely feel like I get a Josh Groban feel. People be like, anybody,
Yeah.
like, especially with the long hair.
Sure.
Did anybody tell you look like Josh Groban? I'm like,
Right.
okay, here we go.
Yeah, so he's from California too.
Yeah, right.
LA, I think. Yeah.
But this is my good friend Samantha Cardenas, and she played Anne in this production of La Cage aux Folles, and this is me as Jean-Michel. And I'm doing With Anne on My Arm, the big number that he has in the first act. And well, we had this like dance sequence in the middle of it. So this is what we're doing at this very moment. And this is the first Sam and I did so many productions together. Our first experience together was we did a musical version of Carrie, Stephen King's Carrie. And then we did actually that production of, this is actually from that production of Carrie. That's my friend Courtney Merrill. She played my girlfriend in the show. There I am singing my big song in the show. And that set was so cool. People did not expect it because the wall, spoiler alert, in the end, if anybody's read Carrie, everybody dies because she goes berserk with her supernatural powers and everybody dies. And as we died gradually and everyone burned up, the back wall in the theater went crashing down, and it sent this burst of wind out into the audience that people, like, they couldn't catch their breath.
Yeah.
So it was so crazy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and this is me from, I think we're doing my duet, You Shine, in the show.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done by the company of Ray of Light here in the Bay Area. This is probably one of those first productions. I mean, they've done a lot of work before that, but it was one of those first productions. So they really went above and beyond in trying to really hone in that. It was in the middle of Halloween too, really hone in the horror of it. And
remember who played, I don't know if you saw the original movie Carrie, but Sissy Spacek, of course, was amazing. But her mother, remember who played the role of her mother? Another veteran of television and stage, Betty Buckley.
Betty Buckley
was her
actually
mother.
Did not know that.
Was Sissy Spacek's mother in the original movie of Carrie. Yeah.
Wow.
Betty Buckley. Yeah.
And she's still rocking it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have her on actually as a guest in the springtime.
That's incredible.
Yeah. The last time I saw Betty Buckley, we were at a wonderful event, which actually was in Connecticut. It was the 100th birthday of the Schubert Theater. And it was a big gala event, and they were bringing people in who had performed on the stage over the years. And Ted Kennedy Jr. was there and a lot of other incredible people. And that's where we had initially met, Betty Buckley and I. She really is just amazing. People may remember she also played the mom on the ABC TV series 8 is Enough as well. This sitcom or drama, actually, 8 is Enough. Very versatile, very wonderful. Betty Buckley is wonderful.
She's incredible. Oh, I can't wait to watch that show.
Yeah, we're talking about it now in the spring, and I fully look forward to that. Absolutely, and yeah, I'll keep you posted. And
there's actually that same girl, Samantha Cardenas, and that's us doing One Hand, One Heart in that production of West Side Story. And we've done so much. We actually did, if you remember looking back at 42nd Street Moon, she played, oh my goodness, what's her name? Peggy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Betty Buckley was the teacher in Carrie. That's right, Kathy. You're right. Michael Laurie was the mother. You're right. I just remembered Betty Buckley being so incredible in it. She was the teacher, and she was trying to help her too. I remember in that movie, she was trying to help her. So Betty Buckley was the teacher, and Piper Laurie, that's right, was the mother. You're right. Exactly, Kathy. Great movie, but it freaked my freak, Maureen says. Yes. And Sissy played the mother in the remake. Yeah. Yeah.
And in the remake, actually, when I did this production, it's so funny how it all so funny sometimes how life all
Isn't it
connects.
amazing? Yeah.
But when I was doing the remake, when I was doing the production of, I was playing Tommy in the production. When I was doing the production, the movie came out, and Ansel Elgort, we all know from
Yes.
Baby Driver, was in it, and we all went to go see it in a movie theater together. Because, like, yeah, it was like, oh, just perfect timing, and like we're running Carrie, and it's all over in the theaters, and helped out a lot. A lot of people came to see it. So we were sitting in the movie theater, and Ansel Elgort at the time was just kind of, I feel like, I mean, he might have been around before that, but he really was starting out his career at that point. You know, he that was his big first movie. And I thought, like, oh man, you know, Ansel Elgort's in, I'm playing Tommy. Had two completely big differences, of course. But when I was in callbacks for the West Side Story movie, we were saying who else was being called in, and Ansel Elgort was on the list. So I was like, oh man, it's like, here we are. Here we are connected again. I mean, like, I know we had one experience like there way back then when we were, you know, when I was doing that production, he did Carrie, I did Carrie, but here we are actually, you know, potentially going for the same role. And I was like, how does life connect that way? That you were, you know, you had that connection with like playing the same role in these different projects there. And then here you are auditioning for literally the same role, or a callback for the same role. I thought that was, when I heard his name, I was like, at first I was like, oh man. But after that, I thought, wait, I remember when we had this connection when we were doing the show.
That's incredible.
Life is so mysterious sometimes.
It is. And you end up working with people again, oftentimes. And that's why they say, you know, be good to people and take care of one another, because you never know we're going to work together again.
That's right.
Here's another cool shot.
Yeah. That's when they're, this is Urinetown again. And I feel like they're taking my dad away, because in the show, you know, you got to pay to go to the bathroom, and he couldn't hold it in. So he goes to the bathroom, and, you know, they take him off to Urinetown. And so this is me like freaking out, I think. Once again, this was just, you know, my hair's starting to really grow out here again.
Yeah.
This is right after I chopped it. This is actually right after I chopped it off. It was long for Jesus Christ Superstar, which was that December, and this is April of the following year. So,
what was it like being in that too?
In Urinetown?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think it's one of the most genius comedies, modern comedies in musical theater ever written. The level of improvisation that goes into this production, and how many things you can discover as you go along the journey in your rehearsal process with this show it's never endless.
Yeah.
Really.
No.
And when you have such a cast that is willing to jump into that creativity, that kind of blank page of filling in the blanks of how you're going to create this story, your particular story with this particular group.
Yeah. Incredible.
It's incredible. And I think to this, I mean, like I said, to this day, I think people said that in that theater company, I think that was the best they've ever seen. And that goes to show that Berkeley Playhouse does a lot of very good productions. So. Absolutely.
Since we were mentioning the wonderful Betty Buckley, this is actually photo when we were at the 100th anniversary of the Schubert Theater.
You guys look amazing.
That was really, she's just a blessing. So there you go, everybody. There's the wonderful Betty Buckley, and this was at the 100th birthday gala for the Schubert Theater in New Haven, Connecticut. Really wonderful evening, really, really nice. And shorter hair, too. We didn't have to worry about doing anything hair-wise. And she was just wonderful. It still is. She's just a wonderful talent, wonderful person. Betty Buckley.
Right now, I mean, obviously, no one is working right now. But what was the latest thing that she did? Did she do?
She's doing. I know a lot of online virtual things. And you know who was there that night too? An actor an actor and singer, Rex Smith. A lot
Uh-huh.
of people may remember him too. He had a television show that was on, I think it was NBC or ABC. He was there that night as well. But yeah, Betty Buckley is wonderful, and hopefully we'll have her coming on, I think, in the spring, because there's something that she is involved in that's actually right now she's starting. There's something she's starting, because we were communicating with when to have her come on, and there's something that she's just doing right now where the spring would be better for her to pop on. But yeah, she's just a delight, a really lovely, lovely person, and
I don't know why. She kind of looks like Catherine O'Hara in that photo.
Yeah.
Like that kind of feel.
Yeah, I would
Oh,
agree.
why?
Yeah, absolutely. The wonderful Betty Buckley. Yeah, I mean, your career, you've done a lot of different things, and you've had so many different, or such a variety too, which is incredible. Look at here.
There I am. Yeah, Jesus Christ Superstar, and yeah, no, I was just, I was really honored that I was honored. I was really excited that I was able to.
Well, I mean, to play Jesus
my,
would be an honor, right?
It is an honor. Honestly, it is an honor. But I was so amazed with how he created the ending for that. To be up on that cross.
Yes.
It's not something that every single person gets to experience, and to be up on that cross and stare at thousands of people.
Yeah.
Thousands of people as they look back at you, and to see like the suffering that you're going through, because we all, it's tough for people of really, I mean, I'm religious, and I respect the Bible. I respect
sure
what the deity element that Jesus Christ represents. But like I said before, to have that element of him as a human being in this case, and you're in the dark, you're happy you don't see their faces, but the utter silence that you hear when you're up on that cross and you're about, obviously you're about to die. And the utter silence that you hear from the crowd, not a cough, not a
it's raw emotion.
It's raw emotion, and it's chilling. It's chilling to have to, even as you're the actor and you hear that, to experience that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Maureen, who's watching, who's a nurse, she says, you have great veins in your arms. #nurse life. So if you ever need your blood drawn or whatever, she'd say you got good veins.
Maureen, both of my parents are RNs. They're both registered nurses. So
there you go. See,
they would agree with you.
That is funny.
That's incredible.
I tell you.
This is my favorite shot of Rock of Ages, period.
Yeah.
When I saw this shot, I was just, wow. This defines the party that the show is, and it's with the wig and everything. Oh man.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And this is my first experience where I was working with somebody who was really a part of the New York, theater community. And he really, my friend Tice Green, he really gave me kind of the nudge to go, hey, you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And he said, I said, yeah, but I think I want to finish school first, I told him. And he said, and he was trying to convince me that I should go now. And I said, of course, as a performer, it's, so anybody's road is different.
Yes.
At that time, I think I really wanted to finish school as much as I was like, as a kid, it's really irking me to like, no, I want to move on with my career or something like that. But I felt it was wise at the time. And, but he really kind of set a point for me in this production to go, you gotta go. You got to go. You have the potential and you got to go. So I'm really thankful for him for that. I mean, I've never forgot, ever since he told me that, I never forgot about the fact that I need to try to get to the East Coast, try to get to New York. And it was, There's that's Anna Kostakis, again, who played my sweet Bernadette in Romeo and Bernadette. And this is our first press photo shoot that we did right after Thanksgiving. I flew back to New York, and we did this is our first meeting together. And of course, my tight pants. And of course, the cod piece is a huge part of the show. You see it in this photo, but the cod piece is a very huge part of the show. There's Marius again in Les Miserables, and that's my friend, my dear friend Casey Delacruz, who actually just moved to New York. Congrats to her. And she's got a very, I would say, Lea Salonga feel. I mean, her voice is just beautiful. It's like butter. And I'm very excited for her future. I'm very excited for what her career is in store in the East Coast in New York. So
that's a cool shot there.
There it is again. You see every shot you look at Rock of Ages, it's a party. It's a party.
It really is.
So it's beautiful. That's again my drunk scene. They get a lot of my drunk scenes in Saturday Night. Steven Sondheim Saturday Night. But I really liked. I mean, this is the one moment where I really liked my slicked back hair. It had a certain length to it. And,
much more manageable too, right? Yeah.
Much more manageable. Top hat. Again, Saturday Night, and I loved that top hat because it was one of the ones that fold up.
Yeah.
And you had to pop it out for one of my numbers, which is so fun to do. One of my numbers is from the show. You can find it on my YouTube channel, Nikita Burshteyn. And I posted one of my main numbers from the show in that production. So check it out.
Check it out. There it is. Yeah.
Actually, that's that number.
That
number. It's called, what is it called? Class. The song is called Class. Next to Normal.
It's a nice shot.
That's a really nice shot. And a lot of these shots, and you saw the last shot and this shot is shot by a local photographer here by the name of Ben Krantz.
Ben Krantz
does some brilliant work. I think this one, I don't think was, no, I think this might have been him as well, but I might be wrong. This is when I played Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar. And it was so reminiscent. It was so inspired by Tim Minchin, who did at the Royal Albert Hall production with the 25th anniversary of Jesus Christ Superstar. He played Judas there, and he wore that scarf, that style of a scarf. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to wear that scarf.
There you are again. Here we go.
There we are again. That's my good friend Mark Duncanson to the left. He played my agent in this production. With the perm. He's great. He runs a company out here. He runs a teaching program out here in the Bay Area, out in Pleasanton. And I've done a number of he's done doing a bunch of virtual concerts as well. And I've been his guest a couple of times. He really does some great work. But it's my hope in Urinetown, Andrea Love. She's gorgeous, and she just fits so well for this role. She's got this beautiful classical voice, and all at the same time can start riffing.
Yeah,
like business. Jealous of people that can do both of those things.
But you can roll your R's.
I can roll my arms. Arms. And there's my friend Sam Cardenas again. This is the famous balcony scene in What's That Story? This was a concert venue that I did where I actually sang Maria.
I like the suit.
But if you notice, the suit is really nice. I love Express.
I have a lot from there too. Yeah.
So good. Express is the best. I think I'm wearing a sweater right now that's from Express.
More the clothes are more sort of European style cut. Yeah.
European style. Exactly. Yeah. Which I adore. And that's my good friend Ryan Drummond, who plays my dad in La Cage aux Folles, and this production of La Cage aux Folles at San Francisco Playhouse. And there I am flying. And
Holy cow!
But don't watch my sickled feet. Don't watch my sickled feet.
I know we will. That is funny.
That's again me just singing my song "Class" from Saturday Night. You got my buddy Jesse Cortez on the left there in the back, and Kaylin. I see you in the back on the right there. Just a fun ensemble, such a fun cast to work with.
Yeah.
Nice to do a nice classic Sondheim classic. You don't get a lot of those.
That's very true.
And if anybody doesn't know what that is, grab a musical theater book.
That's it. Yeah.
That is the first meeting in West Side Story.
Yeah. Really cool.
Beautiful. Oh, and this is Dogfight. And if you see, I am the second from the left, and my head is buzzed. It is gone.
Yes, it is. I see that.
It is gone. That is the start before I grew into the Juice Car Superstar do, which took about 2 years. That's a year and a half, a year and 9 months, but it took some time.
Very, very cool. Another shot of another angle from that other. Yeah. That is really cool.
Yeah. My slicked back hair look. I don't do that often, but it's most when I ever do, it's definitely for theater, because I'm always like my curls out to the front kind of guy. But, but this is the closest this is the closest I've ever felt to the what's the stuff that guys used to use in the 60s and 50s?
Brill cream.
Yeah.
A little dab will do ya.
A little dab will do ya. There you go.
Yeah, their slogan. Yeah.
It's amazing. It was fun. It was fun.
It's a cool look. Yeah, it's a cool look.
I mean, that costume again, but that's that's my friend Taylor. She played my my opposite. What's the character's name? The one that he like falls in love with in Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
And she did great. She gets that really cool song in the show called "Fly, Fly Away" that Carrie Butler sang in the original production. She knocked it out of the park.
Good stuff. And then we have,
and then there's Hip Hop Drew, where we saw earlier the guy with the perm who plays my agent, Mark Duncanson. He tries to get me all hip by changing me into the 80s hip hop scene, and where I am just a rocker at heart. So this is the do, and the outfit that they gave me cracked people up. They were hysterical. So cool. This was so many fun memories, so many fun.
I tell you, really, huh? And look at that shot.
Look at that.
Jesus.
Look at that. I have another one, and I can't find it right now, but I have another one where I'm holding my hand to one of the oh my gosh. What do they call them? The starts with an S. The that are damaged, and I'm like healing her.
Oh
and
yeah.
That shot is just oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a role. I mean, I mean that's quite a role to be in.
There's a so in the wig, who's playing Alban is actually a Broadway veteran, John Tracy Egan. He's I mean, incredible. He replaced Nathan Lane in the Broadway production of The Producers. But he's done so many characters out of that. He was in the original production of Jekyll and Hyde. His most recent thing he did was he was in the original production of My Fair Lady out at the Lincoln Center with Norbert Leo Butz and one of my Jordan Donica. But he's brilliant, and and I was so excited because I've known him before this show, but I've known him with a mustache around his face. And when on the first day of reading, he came up to me and said, "Wow, you sound amazing." And I was like, well, thank you so much. And I knew he was from New York, and I knew he was, he's not from here. He's not local. I knew that. But I go back to the cast list and I see his name and it says John Egan, but I'm so used to seeing John Tracy Egan, and my brain starts like rewiring itself, thinking like, wait, you know that name?
He's coming on our show in a couple of weeks.
Oh, is he really?
Yes. Small world, isn't it?
My dear friend.
Small world. Small world.
He's
looks like you'll be watching a lot of the Jim Masters show live.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, he'll be coming on in a couple of weeks.
You're gonna love him. I mean, I don't know if you don't know him, he's an incredible human being, and what a talent. And if you're thinking about comedy, this guy, he got me doing a spit take in the middle of a show one night. I mean, that's how good he is.
That's funny.
Just naturally came out of nowhere. It was just something was so funny. I had water in my mouth and I had to go. I had to spit it out. I had to.
That is funny.
But he's there's that shot. There is that shot of like me. Healing my friend Anita over here. She every single time I see the shot and I show my family and she sees this shot, she's like, this is a lot. Something supernatural. Did
you have one more song that you wanted to share with us before we wrap with everything?
The two that I had for you tonight were the ones that I had, Jim.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of other ones. I didn't have time to prep them fast enough due to copyright issues.
The copyright's crazy. Yeah. I know it is.
But no worries at all. And I'm so fortunate that you had me on here tonight. I so thankful.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Allison keeps asking if you've been in Hairspray.
I have not, Allison. I've done so many shows that involve oh my goodness, who wrote?
And producers.
Yeah, not producers. I want to do producers and I want to do Hairspray. I'd love to play Link sometime. And it's one of my dream. It's definitely on the top of the top of the list.
The top of
the Link Larkin. But I think I still have a little time to be able to do producers. But Link, I think I need to do it sooner or later because time is running out. And there's one of my latest headshots by the wonderful Darnell Bennett. He's a New York photographer here.
Good. Yeah.
He really captured me so well. I mean, his work is just exquisite. And he's done so many shots for so many other, performers.
I need to get some updated ones. So maybe he'd be good to go see.
Yeah. Contact him. He really does. I mean, the way he uses his lighting and
it's really cool. Right.
Really cool.
Brings out the eyes and absolutely. Mona says, thank you, Jim and Nikita, for a very interesting night. Truly enjoyed the show. Very interesting and informative. Thank you both for your time. Congratulations and many blessings with your beautiful Elizabeth, beautiful couple. That's from Mona in Louisiana, Bernadette. Thank you so much, Nikita. We in this house love your work. Great stories and photos from Bernadette watching, one of our lovely viewers. Juanita, South Africa, great conversation tonight. Thank you, Nikita, for spending time with us and sharing your stories and beautiful music. Keep well. Really nice. I appreciate that. The Lovities certainly love to express themselves. Denise, good night, Jim and Nikita, and thank you for a wonderful show. We appreciate that and love it, love it, love it. And
thank you, Lovities.
Thank you, Lovities, and all of us. Yeah. Thank you, Nikita, for a wonderful Sunday evening filled with amazing stories and beautiful photos. Wishing you and Elizabeth much happiness. Mona, wow. Look at handsome Jim and beautiful Betty. Great photo of the two of you. Thank you very much.
That's really gorgeous.
Juanita, great picture, Jim. Thank you. Great picture, Mr. Lovity. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And cool stuff. And so, Kathy Short says, I love all the photos. Thank you for visiting with us tonight.
Thank you,
really
Kathy.
Nice. And Karen in Nova Scotia, thank you for joining us tonight, Nikita. Very sweet young man.
Thank you.
Very pleasant. You got to get him blushing now.
It's here.
It's here. Already. You've been blushing all night. But cool stuff. And this was really, really terrific. And I'm so glad that we were able to have you come back on the show, and where we got a chance to really chat with you specifically, my friend. Maureen says this has been such a fun evening. Hoping to get back to New York City when shows are up and running again. See you at the stage door, Nikita.
Oh, fingers crossed, Maureen. Fingers crossed.
Right, from your lips to God's ears, and he did play Jesus, so he might have a connection.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. But this was really fantastic. I mean, we really covered a lot of ground here, but it was fun. It was light. It was the way I like to do it, which is, warm, friendly, conversational. We get a chance to learn so much about the guests, and we have a really good time. And all of us are participating, and it's equal footing with the viewers and you and me, the host. And I just love these kinds of conversations. And
it was so nice and lighthearted. You make this, Jim. You make this so comfortable, and you make this so easygoing. Like, and you covered my career so far so wonderfully, and you found all those incredible shots that I love so much, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you for having the time to have me promote Romeo and Bernadette, and the the brilliance that show brought in, and I can't thank you enough for having me on here tonight. It's been truly an honor, and maybe I'll see. I mean, I'll definitely be watching your show. I say I can't wait to see Betty Buckley. I can't see who's coming up tomorrow, so forth, and especially John Egan. And who knows? Maybe you'll want
next Saturday. Kenji will be here
next week. That's right.
It's going to be really, really cool.
Tonight. I hope I'll see you sometime soon again to keep in touch, and who knows, maybe you'll have Elizabeth on.
Absolutely, yeah, that'd be great to learn about behind the scenes of being a Rockette. Renee in Iowa says, good night, all. Great show tonight. Getting ready to face another winter storm here. She's in Iowa. Tomorrow could be up to a foot of snow again.
Wow,
have a great week. So I'm going to stay on the East Coast. He's going to stay on the West, since you got the snow in the middle.
It's raining here. We got it bad.
You got rain. Oh, when it rains in California, it's like stop traffic. It's like,
oh yeah, people
they go crazy when it rains in California. I was there last year in LA on a shoot, Burbank, on a television shoot, and it was like a rainy week, and it was like they had the chopper out. It was like breaking news. The rain. It wasn't a blizzard; it was rain. But I guess then
it's a big rainstorm. You think it's a hurricane coming. That's what people in California are like. And it's not until you really get out of the area that you realize, oh man, we're spoiled.
We're very spoiled. Bernadette says, thanks, Jim, for having Nikita on again. What a fun episode. Cannot wait to see Nikita on stage again. Absolutely. Wow. You got that, Bernadette. This was such a fun night. Now go wash that hair, guys.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think so. Going to take the hat off and boom. Christine in North Carolina says, thanks for sharing details of your experiences with so many fabulous musicals. Really love the great photos. Enjoy this conversation with Jim. You're extremely multi-talented. Kathleen in New York City. Blessings and levity to all. Good night. In for another scorcher in South Africa tomorrow. Well, you cool off, Juanita. Good night, levity. Stay safe, everyone. Hope you all have a great week. Thank you, Mona. You as well. Be safe.
You too.
Thanks again. Love San Francisco. Done the Bay to Breaks race once 1 year. Lots of fun.
Well done. Congrats, Mona. Congrats.
And Renee says in Iowa, after the derecho that they had in August, which is like an inland hurricane, they can face anything. Well, you be well. Well, I certainly hope since you got a chance to join us, in a little bit more longer form, you're welcome back anytime, my friend. Keep me updated. Let's stay connected.
Will do.
And of course, when you come back, we don't have to chat this long, but it was really nice. People got a chance to really learn more about you. And I'll keep the porch light on for you. You're always welcome back. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and that you enjoyed your time with me as much as I certainly have with you, Nikita.
Likewise. I mean, your show is just a delight. I was going on here and I was thinking, this is just going to be just a really, really great time. And you always deliver, Jim. And I thank you so much for having me, Mr. Levity himself. To all the Levities, thank you for watching tonight and experiencing a little part of who I am and what I've been through and where I'm going. And I hope you'll be able to see some more videos and any projects that are coming up and things like that. You can follow me on social media if you have it, or my YouTube channel.
And your website too. What's the website address?
Yeah, it's just my full name, nikitaburshteyn.com.
And you see it spelled right there on the screen, folks.
So it's not a very widespread name, so you don't
Right.
really have problems with.
It's not Joe Smith.
That's right. It's not Joe Smith. So
well, I toast you, my friend, with my San Francisco mug in honor
yes.
of you. And all the
you.
best. You be well. Best to you and Elizabeth, the family, your grandmother,
Likewise.
your parents, everybody, your brother. And let's stay connected, stay in touch, and hopefully we will get together and break bread soon too. That would be really, really nice to do, my friend.
That would be incredible. Yes, please. Yes, please, Jim.
You stay well, and thanks for all the time and sharing the
Till then.
evening with us here on the Jim Masters Show. We loved it.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you. Good night.
Now, as I say to all the guests, go stretch those legs. You're a dancer, so you do that, right? Use some martial arts moves. Stretch those legs.
Yeah.
Get that blood flowing.
15, 20 minutes a day. Get your
That's
flexibility going. Whew.
That's it.
It makes all the difference in the world.
That's it, my friend. All right, Nikita, this was awesome. Best to you, and thanks for joining us on the show, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. All the best to you, and I hope to see you soon sometime.
Absolutely. You have a good night. Take care.
You too. Likewise. Good night.
Good night. Nikita Burshteyn, isn't he not amazing? You got a chance to learn a little bit more about our friend here, very talented actor, singer, dancer there in the San Francisco area, and so many great productions. And again, he was on the show back in December when we did that very special episode just before the Christmas holiday, when we were celebrating that legendary 2x2, which he was in, and we put together a really terrific broadcast, and he was there, and as well, Nikenje, who's going to be here. She's going to be here on Saturday of next week. So we're looking forward to that. And we have a lot of great guests coming up. Let me show you quickly. And of course, here's Nikenje here. Wonderful Broadway star. She's going to be here next Saturday on the Jim Masters Show live, and it's going to be amazing. She's all excited about it. She's been promoting it. She was on the show with Nikita, actually, back in December, and we're going to have a full conversation with her here on the show, and we really look forward to it. Now, we've got an amazing guest tomorrow as well, a wonderful actress and singer and performer as well. This is Kristen Towers Bowles. She's going to be here on Monday, tomorrow night, live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We look forward to that. Then, live from Australia, Irish singer and songwriter Rebecca Harkin is going to be here. She is amazing. She's originally from Ireland, but she's in Australia right now. She's going to perform live for us as well. We look forward to that. That is coming up this Tuesday at a special time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So mark your calendar, 8 p.m. on Tuesday, East Coast time, and then 5 p.m. Pacific. And then Wednesday from Happy Days. Yes, Anson Williams, wonderful actor, producer extraordinaire. He's going to be with us this Wednesday on the Jim Masters Show live. Then on Thursday, wonderful actor Kevin Spurtas from Days of Our Lives, One Life to Live, the movie Friday the 13th, and so much more. He's going to be here live on Thursday. On Friday, author and life coach Sterling Meyer is going to be here on Friday of this week live. And then, of course, on Saturday, Kenji, wonderful Broadway star, is going to be here on Saturday. Really amazing. Fun show tonight. We had a lot of fun, a lot of levity as always, and good times with our friend Nikita, and certainly hope you enjoyed it again. This is the production he was talking about, and it was really, really terrific to have him here again to explore some more and chat with him some more. And of course, really, really cool. And you got a chance to really learn a little bit more about this talented singer and performer. And again, look for him in upcoming productions of a lot of different things once things start to open up. And again, it was a pleasure having him here on the show. So we thank him, and we thank him for all the time. And he'll be back again. I know you guys like when we bring guests back. So thanks again, too, for those of you who were talking about the photo. We quickly scrambled for that. Betty Buckley, wonderful Betty Buckley. This, again, was at the 100th gala celebration of the Schubert Theater in New Haven, Connecticut. And she was just absolutely a delight. And we're hoping to have her on in the spring as a special guest on the Jim Masters Show, the wonderful, incomparable Betty Buckley. Again, always great joining in with all of you. I know you guys enjoy the shows, so thank you very much for all the time and attention. Good night, Jim. Thanks for an amazing chat tonight. See you tomorrow. My pleasure. Good to see you, Kathy and Sherry. Good night, Jim and Lovelies. Please take care. Be safe. You as well. Denise, good night, Jim. Your show is a bright light for all of us. All the best. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate that. Anybody watching on our YouTube channel, we would love it if you subscribe to the channel, Jim Masters TV, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of the great content. And tell everybody about our show. So many people are binge watching this series. We've done over 240 episodes of the Jim Masters Show live. So spread the word. We would love that. A lot of fun tonight, and a lot of good entertainment and conversation. We love doing that on the show. Good night, Jim, and all the lovelies. Wishing everyone a marvelous Monday, and you as well. And we'll be back Monday night with our wonderful guest coming up. And Juanita still with us. She's a trooper. Great show once again. Once more, thanks, Jim. Nikita, such a sweetie. Keep well, everyone, and good night. It was kind of fun. We were talking about the longer hair and all the tips, right? We had a good time with that. Good night, Jim. Good night, fellow lovelies. Please stay safe and stay well. All of you, you as well. Bernadette, Karen Campbell Green in Nova Scotia, stay safe. Well, God bless you, Nikita and Jim. Spread the levity. You got it. We will do that. Continue to do that all the time. Spread the levity. Maureen says, I hope everyone had a good night. Levity to you all. You as well, Maureen. Mona in Louisiana. Thanks again, Jim, and all the levities. It was fun to sit, relax, and listen, and stay safe. And of course, our friend George Burns, he had a wonderful time with us as well. And I just want to take a quick moment while we are still all here to thank wonderful Mary Bishop, who sent this wonderful book over the holidays. See if I can bring it in close. There we go. How can we do it where it is nice? And there we go. 9 Fruits of the Spirit. Wonderful book on kindness. And we've been reading through this. This is really, really, really a generous gift. And there you go. A devotion series by Robert Strand. 9 Fruits of the Spirit. This is a wonderful book that with a whole bunch of other gifts that came from Mary Bishop, our wonderful lovely viewers. And it's really, really wonderful. It was during the Christmas holiday I received this package. And there's a bunch of other gifts. And one of these host chat shows where it's just us chatting, I'm going to bring out some of the things that the viewers, you lovelies, have sent over the holidays, which really was beautiful. Some of them I can't show you because we ate them already. Some of them were edibles and they're gone. So I can't show those, but wonderful things like this. And again, 9 Fruits of the Spirit, a devotion series by Robert Strand on kindness, which is really, really cool. She also sent in her Christmas gift package, which was filled with goodies, a lot of ocean related things as well. But this is really, really quite a gift and very generous from our wonderful lovely Mary Bishop. And I thank her very, very much for that and for everything that the guys have sent along. Still using those spices and those wonderful coffees, Mona, that you sent from Louisiana. That's really, really good stuff. Christine says, good night, Jim and lovely friends. Thanks Jim, for an excellent show. Please stay safe and take care, everyone. You as well. And love to your mom. Hope she's doing well, Christine. Francis, good night, everyone. You as well, Francis. And Mona, thank you very much. Thanks, Jim, and all the lovelies. It was fun to sit and relax. Absolutely. Absolutely. And cool stuff. Cool stuff. You guys are the best. As always, as we always say here on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, don't forget to smile That's right. Don't forget to smile. And of course, don't forget to share the lovity. Don't forget to share the lovity. Don't forget to find your Zen place. You know, living along the ocean here in the Northeastern United States, the ocean has always been my go-to place. Loving family and friends and time with them. Numero uno. That's the most Zen place. But then, of course, my work in television and radio and stage and on camera, on air, and behind the scenes over the years has always been another Zen place working in the industry. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, the ocean. Tennis, music, cycling. I love cycling. And, of course, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, everything you can think of tied to the ocean is one of my favorite things. Zen-wise, I know we always talk about Zen here on the show. So that's one of my favorite Zen places. And don't forget to find your favorite Zen place as well. We always think about those constants in life, you know, as life is crazy as it has been the last year or so. Find some of those constants in life and surround yourself with good people and good vibes. And don't forget to relax. As we always say on the Jim Masters Show Live, we end every show with this too. Don't forget to relax. Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to breathe from the diaphragm. Love one another. And don't forget to love yourself. It is essential. Whether the days are dark or the sun is out, don't forget to love yourself and share that love or lovity, as we say here on the show. All your friends are here. I showed you George. You got Gilligan. There he is. Before we knock the lights over. Gilligan is there. I have very long arms. Gilligan is there, and Silver's there. Jimmy's there. George is here. Lin is way over there. I know you guys have been asking about the big panda Lin. That's a lot of fun. That was a birthday gift. We're going to bring Lin on one of these shows. I know, because it puts smiles on your faces. So, hey, you know what? If any of these things that we do on the Jim Masters Show Live lightens the load for you, inspires you, entertains you, informs you, educates you, and makes your day a little bit better, well, as a host and presenter and personality and on-air person all these years, that's what I aim to do on this show and all the work that I do in the industry. So thanks for joining us. And again, in honor of Nikita, who is from San Francisco, originally from Uzbekistan, but lives in San Francisco, California with his family. San Francisco. And we were there on a TV shoot about a year or so ago, and it was terrific. Really, really nice. And that's a wrap, gang. That is a wrap. 3 hours and 31 minutes. I tell you, you guys certainly get your money's worth. Cool, gang. We love it. We love it. Bye, all. Bye, all. And Bernadette says she doesn't remember being in Romeo and Bernadette. I don't think you were in that one, Bernadette. Not yet, maybe. All right, gang, we're going to wrap up. Wonderful weekend. More shows coming up throughout the week. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Spread the word. Tell everybody. Binge watch the shows. Do all the great things you love to do. We really appreciate it. And from all of us here, we thank you for your time. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, when we return with another fun-filled, fresh, new, exciting episode of our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Bye, Mona. We'll see you again soon as well. All right, gang, take care. Love you all. You be well. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Great night tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.